Happy July 5th there, Barry son.
It is another year without someone burning the house down.
Well, I was gonna say, you got all 10 fingers, all 10 toes.
I don't light them off anymore. It's been many years.
Yeah, but somebody could still like have an errant Roman candle enter into your house and
Could have.
blow off a digit, I suppose.
Highly unlikely, but it could happen. Now, the
Yeah.
UAD shoots off fireworks here, so not a whole lot of people really set them off themselves,
Are they illegal in Pennsylvania?
I'm in Delaware. No, they're not. And in Pennsylvania, it's a funny law. Like, I could buy them in Pennsylvania because I'm not a resident. But as far as I know, they cannot buy them in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvanians couldn't buy them in Pennsylvania up to a certain class. There's weird laws with it in PA. Although there are a couple of manufacturers in PA. What's the Titan? I think is one of the big ones. I can't remember the name of them.
I have a funny story to tell, and I feel kind of bad because I can't tell it with Aldi won't be here obviously because he's all. I'm in. Well, he's in Alaska though.
Oh, he's at sea at Portugal.
He's at sea, yeah, BGG at sea. Whatever. He's in Alaska because he took some photos. He was at a game store in Alaska, which was cool. And it actually they actually said on the thing, I forget what it said. It was like, welcome BGG at sea or something like that, which I thought was cool. I mean, that
he's
was
a popular person.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That was quick. He left. Oh, it's Wednesday, ain't it? I was going to say he left Sunday.
It's all day today. It's Wednesday. I had to leave the house for like really for like a brief second, and I was driving to just do a quick errand before I got here to do this, and all of a sudden, just out of the corner of my eye, I saw something weird, and I looked over, and it was a freaking parasailer, just meow, just like, and I was like, I didn't think you could do that in town. Like I mean, like
apparently you can.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to. I mean, just because
it's got to be dangerous with traffic and all.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it wasn't like there was a ton of traffic or anything in the area the guy was doing it. But I mean, still, it was just like one of those things where it was like it's just not something you expect to see. So I was like, this thing zoomed by.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but that was anyway. Anything cool happened to you over the last week?
No, not really. The weather's just jacked me up. I've been chilling, I actually turned the air conditioner on the other day for the first time this year. The humidity's real bad. It's not the heat necessarily.
Yeah,
it's like soup out there now. It was 90 degrees earlier and like soup. But played games all day basically.
What'd you play?
I played Lords of Vegas with the neighbors across the street, and then me and Jen played Powerline and Big Thunder Mountain. I played another one today, and I can't remember what it is. There was another Ticket Ride, maybe. It was with the neighbors. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, Hakito. It was one of the games from the BGG store. Like that one's a checkers variant. Yeah.
Fair enough. Did you what was the best game you played and why?
Today?
Like it's seeing how I did that, then there's a follow-up immediately, so you can't just,
I think Powerline, because I'm still exploring it. Like I went through the base game and then I flipped the boards over, which is a little tougher. And I did a couple of the new different goal, I guess, period scoring, I guess you would call it, phase scoring. I tried a couple of new ones to them. So I'm still exploring that. It's a puzzly game. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
It's weird. It's like a Euro because you're not messing with anybody's board or anything. The only thing is there's a bunch of randomness with the dice. Yeah, it's a weird game. You know, I don't mind the randomness, but I could see some Euro people not liking that. You know. Um, yeah, probably that. I mean, Lords of Vegas is Lords of Vegas. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Thunder Mountain. That was a fiddly game. It was. Did you see that one by Funko?
No, I did not.
It's like it's a thing like Thunder Mountain that has these marbles, and you spin it, and the marbles roll down these tracks, and then you're running around the board with these mines trying to pick up gold to collect points and money. You know, but that turning in the mountain thing is very very fiddly with the marbles rolling in there and spinning right and then coming out. Like if you push down on too hard, the whole board, like the whole mountain thing, bends it down. You know,
All right.
it pinches it. It's real fiddly.
Interesting.
It's just like
Oh, look at this happy guy.
gotta clean his cabinet.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle. Hi, Scott.
What's going on?
Hey, Michelle.
Oh, you know, just
We
just
only have
make-
like 5 minutes.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
breaking on.
Well, I
But we're,
appreciate you cluing in.
Where you headed
Oh.
back out to sea, Scott, or
Yeah, can you
Look at
see the
that. How
background?
cool is that?
yeah? I think we lost him.
I think we lost him too, but that is super cool. That is super cool. That like.
I don't know, is
where
that
you
coming
get to
through?
see-
Oh, there you go. We
Yeah,
got
it
you back.
is. That's super cool. Now you're back, but yeah, you're kind of choppy. So,
Oh,
but I mean,
Let me see
it's
that
cool
here.
that you are showing off.
let me see if I can flip the camera. I'm on the back of the ship right now.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think it was the front.
Well, you know, I'm giving you my I'm on deck 12.
Deck 12.
That's super
Yeah.
cool, dude.
Yeah.
How's what games have you played?
Last night I played Hamlet
Okay.
and I
And?
played what else did I play? What, trying to remember what else I played. Oh, I played Ohanami.
Anami?
Are you playing games?
I played that Anahami one that you just said. You played Rear Window.
Oh yeah, I played Rear Window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rear Window was fun. I played Sides, SIDES, which is not released yet, but that's a really good party game.
We played that. Good call.
What else? It's not really a ton of games yet. I mean, you know, I've played a few, but like today was a port day at Ketchikan, and we went to this really cool game store in Ketchikan.
How much was
So-
a game up there, Scott? I'm just curious. Like, say, Ticket to Ride. How much more? Is
Oh,
it?
you know, I didn't ask them. I should have checked that. We were just talking to the owners there and getting their, you know, just story. But they were sweet people, really nice. Had a good time. And they showed us, the, we didn't really like an in-depth play, you know, look at the game store, but it was fun.
Cool.
And then, yeah, we just walked around the town. It's a real laid-back town, you know, it's small. It's like only 8,000 people live here. But they said they had a pretty big community of gamers, so that was cool.
Well, I mean, they'd have to if they're supporting a game store. So
Yeah. I mean, it's not their full-time jobs. They open at noon,
Oh, part time.
and then yeah. But and then tomorrow we're going to Sitka. No, Juneau. Or tomorrow's Sitka, and then Juneau the day after that.
Did they divert
then
you away from
Victoria.
the glacier up there, Scott?
Well, we're going to the glacier we're gonna be going to the glacier in Juneau.
Okay. I know they
Yeah.
were diverting some ships from it for some reason.
I don't think so. I have not heard. I don't think I've heard any of that. What else?
Kabuki Kid wants to know if they have pinball on the ship.
There's a pinball machine on the ship, but not functional. It's just sitting there. I'll post a picture of it. It's a classic one. It's electromechanical.
Yeah, I bet that would be tough on a pinball machine.
I needed the arcade. I've not been there yet. but it's not too cold. It's pretty warm.
Is it?
Yep. Today was the warmest day they've had in a long time, like a record.
Me too.
And it was probably like 70-ish. Yeah.
See any wildlife?
Yes, saw some bald eagles flying around. They're banking and turning, and you can see their wingspan. It's
They're
like
huge.
like it's got to be like 9, 10, 11, 12 feet. Like I mean, they're massive.
They are. I seen them down in Cape Canaveral. They are huge.
Yeah, they're huge. Have you seen any wild? Michelle went on a duck tour today. Duck boat
what?
tour.
A
Oh,
duck
okay.
boat?
Are you on cam?
Oh, hello.
Can you seriously?
Yeah, I saw an eagle.
You didn't
That's
throw
about
Scott
all the
overboard yet?
wildlife I saw.
What is it?
It's suitable to see a bald eagle, it being close to the 4th of July and what have you. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
America, indeed. That's cool though. I mean, and so when do you guys? How many BGG at Sears do you think are attending with you this time around?
It's like 200.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and the game room is packed. I mean, this is the week of heavy gamers.
Is it?
Like I look around and the games are heavy. I'm like, wow, they're playing a lot of Arc Nova, a lot of Terraforming Mars. People are pulling out Mosaic. I see everything. Yeah, everything's getting pulled. It's like lots of games on the tables. So I'll try to do. I should shoot a video. I've done a video of the little game room there, but it's not. It's not huge. But it's and then we have some extra tables in another dining room. So that's an overflow. But Michelle and I are just chilling out here on the deck 12 before dinner.
Before dinner.
Cheers.
Yep. Cheers.
You Dragon's got it now. You're still iffy on that.
I got a little something here.
Got a little something.
I don't think I'll finish it.
So Scott, were you at sea yesterday? Last night?
Yeah. See yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Today was the first day at port.
I'm curious. Did the ship do anything for the 4th or no? Like fireworks?
Yeah, they do. They don't do fireworks. They do like a band, and then they do a balloon drop.
Oh, okay.
And they have a block party. I think that was pretty much. It was like a cupcakes and
Okay.
stuff. There's a lot of people on the ship. It's pretty full. I think it's sold out.
I'm sure Canada's a short window up there. Or Alaska rather. It's only like 4 months.
Yep. Well, anything else?
That's about it.
Anything else?
I appreciate. Well, I had a funny story, but it'll take too long for you to get to.
Yeah,
so.
we got to get going.
Yeah, I understand. But
There's lots of appointments and times and all. It's actually only 6:30 right now. So
Is it? Wow.
PM. Yeah.
4 hours behind me.
Yeah, we're on the other time. We're one past Pacific time, which I'm not sure what that's called. Any idea?
Well,
No, actually I don't.
Alaska time?
Oceania? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
That's a
either.
trivia question there. Ask Kabuki Kid. What is Kabuki Kid does?
say the
Does she know?
question again.
Alaska.
What's the
Time
time zone where Juneau is in? Or Sitka time zone? What time zone?
Well, I mean, I would want to say it would be Pacific, but I mean, I'm going to guess I'm wrong. So
It's not Pacific.
Saying,
Alaskan
one
time?
west.
says
One west of
Hawaii.
Pacific. I don't know. I'm asking.
Says Hawaii Aleutian Daylight Time.
Aleutian?
Aleutian. I'm sorry. Aleutian Islands GMT 9.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
There
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on Aleutian.
Hawaii Aleutian Time.
Hawaiian Aleutian time. I didn't think we're that far west, but I guess maybe we are.
I don't know.
Cool. All right.
So Google.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. See you
Yeah, enjoy your
Good to see
trip.
you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you,
Have to
Michelle.
come on the next one. All right. See you.
No, that was nice, very nice.
Yes, I didn't think he'd get internet service, to be honest with you.
No, neither did I, man.
When I was on the boat, it
Neither did
sucked.
I.
Jen would text me, like I'd be on the Lido deck, and she'd text me from the room, and by the time I got back to the room, I got the text. The
Yeah.
internet sucked on that boat.
my in-laws lake cabin place. It's like you have cell service, you have cell service, you have cell service, you have cell service, and then it's like there is a basically where their lake is, and then like basically, I would say a third of a mile circle around there. You just can't get any cell service there. You're just done. It's hilarious. So, it's so it's odd. And so like whenever we go to and they have a nice lake and there's a lot of stuff to do there. So I enjoy being there. But I mean, you just go there knowing that nobody can get a hold of you. You can text somebody and it takes about 5 minutes for the text to go out. It just sits there but good luck at getting anything else. It just won't work. Just like you can't, there's no internet, there's no nothing. You can spend you can get Wi-Fi, but they charge up the yang for it. So
Sure.
Yeah,
That's how it is where I go hunting. I have to go down the mountain to make a phone call or to get a text message. It depends on the phone, though. I notice it, and where you're at in the park. Yeah, you get one signal in one spot on one certain type of phone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I mean, like, for the longest time, and it's not the case anymore. But when we would go there, my phone, this old Note 8 that I still have, it would have a very just enough internet, excuse me, that I could run like Amazon Music, and I could like listen to a radio station. I could listen to music through my phone. Like, it was just the weirdest thing that it would work just fine. And just and nobody else had anything, but I could. It was, I don't know. It was just a weird thing. It was, as they say, what it was. So, well, here, let me, here, I'll tell my funny story.
You
Okay.
tell your funny story.
All right. So, okay, here's my funny story. And this isn't, this isn't a grievance or anything. It was just isn't that weird kind of thing. So I've had a car, my old Ford Explorer that my daughter is probably going to inherit to drive around. It was at a shop because it had to have a few things done to get it fixed. And there's still a couple things left to do, but it had sat there for a few weeks. And it was one of those things where the people that were there, they were cool about it. There was fine. But also I was like one of those things where eventually somebody's going to say, why is that still parked there? And I was like, it was one of those things where I needed to ride somebody to drive me over there to get it, drive it home kind of thing. And I was just about, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drive there. I'm going to park my pickup there, and I'm going to drive it back. And then, maybe I can like get a ride back. Like, I can have my daughter drive me over there or something, just like, because she needs some drive time or whatever. I was just going to figure out just to get it and get it out of there, because I was just kind of annoyed that it had been sitting there for a while. And again, if you have a Fleet Farm near where you are, it's at a Fleet Farm auto service, and there's literally, it isn't like some service stations where like you see everything is like crammed together and there's like, there's 50 open spots. So it isn't like there's, and then as I said, the guy that kind of runs the place there, like, he and I always talk and chat, and he knows who I am, I know he is, kind of thing. Anyway, so I was going to drive over there, and then all of a sudden a buddy of mine called, and he and he was like, hey, what's going on? What are you today? And he was just Oh, excuse me. He was just calling to BS about, like he's in my D&D group, and we were just calling to BS about some D&D stuff or whatever. And so I said, it's like, okay, well, whatever. And I was like, hey, aren't you supposed to be working? He's like, no, I'm leaving to go to my mom's tomorrow. I'm just at home. And I was like, would you mind coming over to my house, picking me up and bringing me over to get this thing? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I was like, cool, that solves that. So I went and parked my pickup on the street so I could, because like the pickup was in the spot where the Explorer was going to go. I sat down, I was just kind of listening to a podcast, something. And then he shows up. I pile in the car, and we're just talking about whatever, and I asked him, how's his mom doing, blah blah blah, just generic stuff. We get there, I hop out of the car, I go and I start it, and there's still some things to get fixed. And I said, hey, would you mind just following me back just in case something happens or something weird happens with the car? And he said, yeah, no problem. So I was driving it home, and like it started to overheat, and I was like, well, that's dumb. And then so I pulled over to the side of the road, and he's like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, it's starting to overheat, I don't know what's going on. And he said, all right. I was like, I'm just gonna let it sit, cool off a little bit, then I'm gonna drive home, and I'm not gonna drive on the highway, and I'm just gonna kind of be ginger, just treat it nicely. And then so I drove it home, and the temperature light would come on a couple times and then would go off. And so I got it home, and I popped the hood, and I looked, and like the radiator was like way low. And I was like, well, that explains that. I was like, I can't believe that it was at a shop and nobody noticed that this thing. But if I didn't tell them to look, they don't know to look. So, whatever. It again, this is it is what it is kind of thing. So I had some in my garage. I had some coolant in my garage, so I filled it up almost to the top, went and filled the coolant bottle with some water because it wasn't completely full. It just needed a little bit more. Topped it off, closed it. All right, we're good. So then my buddy and I, we sat around and BS for a little bit. And then his wife called, and she said, and she said, oh, hey, I need you to do this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, okay, I'll come home and we'll take care of it. Now, this is a weird, so, and I even said to him, I was like, hold on, I think my phone's in your car. Cause I was like, I had my wallet, and my keys, but I didn't have my phone. And so I went and looked in his car, and I didn't see my phone. I was like looking, and I was like, maybe. I was like, well, I was doing a lot of stuff, maybe it's still in the other car or whatever. So I go, and I was like, well, I'll talk to you later. See you later. And he took off. And so I looked, and then I got in the house, and I'm looking for my phone. And I was going to have one of my kids call it, but I remember we had gone to a movie the day before as a family. And I remember I turned my ringer off, and of course, I never turned it back on. And I told my son, call my phone, and just in case, maybe I'd had the presence of mind to turn it on. He called it, nothing. But it was one of those things where it turned it, it was just like my, it went to a voice. It didn't immediately go to voicemail, meaning that it was ring. And so looked around the house, couldn't find it. Now I'm starting to it's bothering me. I was like, okay, it should be somewhere in the house. And when I lose, I normally I can chill out a little bit, like most things, but when I lose something and I know I should have it, especially something like my phone, which has a lot of stuff on it, that's important. I was like, this sucks. Where's my phone? And so I started looking, and I was just like, and I was doing the whole retrace my steps thing. And I said, I got out of the car, and the shorts I had on had kind of small pockets. And I was like, I got out of the car in that parking lot, and I went over, and I said, I told my son, hey, grab your phone, jump in the car, let's go. And I told my daughter, keep looking for my thing. If you find it, give your brother a call. So we got in the car, and I drove back over to the place, and got to the parking lot, and it's, of course, it's a million miles away. But like, we got to the parking lot. I looked and looked, nothing. I went into the service station and said, "Hey, did anybody turn in a phone?" He's like, "No, sorry, man." He's like, "Oh, well, and like, and he was like, it's like, he was like, maybe something's like, like it, sometimes things fall. I was like, yeah, I've dropped a phone in a car before, but I mean, it was nice of him to suggest, but I was just like, I'm not an idiot. So we drive home. I get home, looking. I was like, okay, well, I did go and get the hose because I had to like, I had to use the hose. I went and looked. I looked over in the bushes and stuff. It wasn't there. I went into the garage. And looked everywhere. It wasn't there. I went in the house and I was just like, I walked in the front door and I walked straight downstairs. And so I was like looking and I was looking and I was looking and I was looking. And I looked in the Explorer and I looked at my pickup. I couldn't find it anywhere. And now I'm like, where could this freaking thing be? This is stupid. This is stupid that I'm still looking for this thing. And so I went and then I remembered, like, if you have an Android phone and you have your Google account, you can do Find My Phone with your Android. And it's just like, and it'll ping your phone. And like, you can actually like have your phone ring, even if the ringer's not on, you can actually click on the button and it'll ring for you, things like that. So I went there, I did Find My Phone. And it said, so I mean, you don't know this area of town, but it's like, there's the town I live in, which is Moorhead. It's in Minnesota. Right to the west of it is a town called Fargo, which is in North Dakota. And right to the west of Fargo is a town called West Fargo. And there's some smaller towns east of Moorhead. But anyway, it's like basically 4 or 5 towns, Fargo being the biggest, Moorhead being the second biggest, West, and so on and so forth. And, all together, it's kind of like just a little community. There's not really suburbs, so to speak, but I mean, you get the one I'm getting at. And so I did it and I looked, and my freaking phone is nearly in West Fargo. And I was like, who the fuck stole my goddamn phone?
Your
friend. It is already in West Fargo, and I'm just losing my mind. And I was like, look at this, and I was like, God damn it! And I was looking at the thing, and I was sitting there, and I was like, okay, 48th Street, 7th Avenue. I was like just zeroing in. I was like hitting the refresh button to see if it would move, and I'm just getting more and more angry. And then I turned, and then there's a thing that says secure your phone. You can and it shuts it down. Basically, you can't access, you can't do anything. The only way you can get into it is if you if you know your you have to know like your Google password to basically get into it. Like even if the phone just won't work unless you have that. So I was like, all right, lock my phone down. I told my daughter to sit at this computer. I said, just sit here and hit this refresh button. If that freaking phone moves, you freaking call your brother. And I was like, actually, no, Caleb, call your sister right now. Put it on speakerphone. She can just tell me if it moves so like I can have a running commentary where this thing is. So I jump in my car and I'm just driving and I'm just angry. I'm like, oh, I'm going to find this mother. Be like, hey, got a cool new phone, buddy? It's like, I was like, I'm on the interstate and I'm just driving and just already like thinking, how am I going to handle this? How am I going to track this guy down? Am I just knock on doors? Am I going to figure this out? And I was like, man, oh man, 48th Street, 7th Avenue. This is crazy. Just like, how can it be? And I was like, all of a sudden it was like, bing. I was like, that's like right around where my buddy lives.
Yeah.
It's just
that would have been the first thing I thought.
And I was like sitting there just full of rage, driving down the highway super fast to get to this house. And so then I said, Caleb, hang up on your sister. And I said, dial this number. And it was like, how about this? The fact that it's one of like probably maybe 20 phone numbers that I know by heart is this guy. He's like a good friend. Yeah. I said, call this number. And so then, but he's like, it's an unknown number. So he's just like, he just thinks it's like a robocall. So he's not answering it. And I was just like, Caleb, text that number. This is Caleb, Lance's son. Answer the phone. And so I finally, so then we finally got him on the phone, and like actually his I had him call again, and because he puts his phone down and just walks away, his wife answered it. She's like, hello, and I said, hey, just like, Lisa, tell Brad I think my phone is in his car. And then she says, oh, hey, and then she's like, hey, and then she actually said, oh, Brad's here. No, he says he has your phone. And I was like, okay, thank God. So I drive to his house, and I see him out there, and he's like cleaning up his yard. And I walk up to him, and I was like, where's my phone? And he's like, what do you mean, where's your phone? I was like, don't F with me. I just I've been losing my mind for like the last hour and a half trying to find my phone. Just hand it over. And he's like, I don't have your phone, dude. And I was like, dude, it's right here. It's like I can tell you exactly how much percentage my phone is. I can tell you everything. It's just like I know exactly like where all this stuff is. And then like he's like, dude, I looked all over my phone, I couldn't find it. So I literally opened up the door to his, like, he has this, like, just a standard SUV type car. And I look, and I looked at the seat that I was sitting in, and I literally like pulled the seat back, where like things would fall in, and I was like, there's my phone, dude, it's right there. He's like, well, and he literally he's like, well, who would think to look there? And I was like, everybody would think to look there. Just like, it's like everybody would think to look around the seat that you were sitting in, and you couldn't find your phone. And he's like, oh man, I was just gonna go on an errand too. And I was just like, if you had driven away, and like, if I hadn't figured out it was him or whatever, I would be like driving down streets like a madman chasing down this car.
And if somebody did steal it and you're chasing them around the city, what would that accomplish?
Yeah, I don't know. I can see myself. Oh, he's got the same car my friend Brad has too. Just like, I'm gonna get this. But no, I figured. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't usually get like anxious or worried about stuff. But I mean, man, oh man, when like, if I can't find my phone, or I can't find my wallet, or I can't find my keys, like that stuff just bugs me. Even though I have a specific area to hang out my keys, to put my wallet, and of course I have them right here, just sitting at my computer desk. Even though I had to walk down the stairs, and right by the door, I actually have the spot where I hang my keys up, where I put my wallet every single time when I walk down the stairs. And it's like, did I think to stop and put them in there or whatever? Like, no, just like, but, oh well. I don't like losing my mind about stuff like that. So, but I did go see the movie The Spider-Verse. I'm not gonna give any spoilers or anything like that. The only spoiler I have of that is, like, I was watching it. Nobody told me it was like part 1 of 2. So I'm watching. Yeah, so I was watching it, and I was just kind of like, wow, they haven't really wrapped up the plot. This is gonna be a pretty long movie.
That's how I felt with Dune.
This is gonna be a pretty long movie. I was just like, okay, and then like, it was like, okay, they're ramping up to like some big momentous things happening here, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, this is gonna be 2 movies. It's gonna be, and then of course, like, Miles Morales will return, and Beyond the Spider-Verse or whatever. So
they gotta make their money.
Yeah. So
live action Spidey's getting a little beat up. He needs a break. That's gonna be tough on the kid. He did what? 6 movies? 4 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2 Avengers.
I'm kind of annoyed that most recent Spider-Man that brought back Toby and what can't I think? Garfield. I'm kind of annoyed that's not on streaming yet. I know you can rent it, but it isn't like for free on anything right now.
Oh, it's not?
I don't think so. At least I haven't seen it anyway.
Because
I really liked that one. I mean, I really enjoyed that one. Maybe it was just because of the fact that like it kind of, I mean, it's nostalgia, obviously, seeing Toby and I always really hated the fact that they were like killing off the Spider-Man villains in those first two Spider-Man movies. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, we're just gonna kill the Green Goblin off. Now I realize, hey, spoilers.
30-year-old movie.
Yeah. I realize that in the comics, that's how Harry Osborn. I mean, they literally had him die the exact same way he
Yeah.
died
Yeah.
in the comics. But I
In
mean,
one
Doc
version,
Ock
yeah.
never died. They
Yeah, no.
killed him off in the second Spider-Man movie, and I was just kind of like, you know, and so like when that so when they you know they reintroduced the character of Dr. Octopus in that last one, I was like, I was jazzed. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, and have Alfred Molina back as well, you know, because he's a really good actor.
I'd like to see Defoe back too. I
What?
like
Oh yeah,
Defoe.
Defoe. Yeah, having Defoe back and actually letting him chew the scenery for a while.
Yeah, I like Defoe in general. Most
Yeah.
of his work.
Willem, not
Willem.
William. Willem.
Yeah, that's French.
Kabuki Kid still has cable. She's bragging. She's got so much money.
Much money.
She's just burning it.
Burning.
Burning the money. Hold on a second. Hey, firstborn.
Yeah.
Go grab me soda, please.
Which one?
I don't know. Just not the Fanta pineapple, please. I'm not in the mood for a Fanta pineapple. I did discover Fanta pineapple though. That is a dang fine soda.
I'm not real big on soda, but
I know, because you're like whatever.
I'm not
Look
big
at
on
this. Even she
carbonated
knows. Even
stuff
she
in
knows
general.
what
What
the
was the first one?
Yeah, shut up. It's
Did she shake it up real well for you?
no, I don't think so. Let's see. Here, we'll see if my daughter loves me. Did she shake the soda? No. My daughter came down. She wanted to spend 60 American dollars on a video game.
Ooh.
And I said, cool, give me the money and then we'll buy it. And then I took the time to see that if we actually had access to it or if we had purchased it already. And it is on the PlayStation 5 Plus network. It's a game that you can have for free and you can just download them. And what I should have done is to teach her a lesson. I should have taken her money and then just downloaded it for free and then pointed out that she could have had it for free because she doesn't even bother doing that. She just assumes that, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna have to, but then again, she is gonna go to Gen Con and she's gonna work. So
There's
burr,
that.
burr, 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 burr.
Why Gen? I don't know if I want to go to Gen Con. Oh, too many people. I did a reference for a gun permit for a neighbor of mine down here. It's the first one I ever filled out, and it surprised me how little there was on the reference thing. It was like 4 questions.
Are you alive? Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. It was like, how long have you known the person? Do they want it for personal property protection? Do you think it was basically 2 questions? Do you think they're capable of having a gun? You know, mentally and emotionally. I forget exactly how it was. It was only like 6 questions, maybe. It was weird. There's other stuff to it though. She had to file something in a newspaper. She had to get 4 or 5 other references. And there was another step. I think a training seminar or something. I forget exactly what it was. But yeah, it surprised me. I haven't really dealt with the gun laws down here in Delaware. I have long guns, you know, so I don't deal with the rest of it.
I mean, can they hold you accountable for anything that they do?
Nah, it's just making sure the person's you know, not mentally ill or emotionally unstable. You know, they're not just going to pull a gun out and shoot somebody or something. You know, they're really responsible with it. It was something similar in Pennsylvania, I think, but we got bonded and all that other stuff too. I'm pretty sure she had to go through that here. You know, it's not like they just hand them out, but I was surprised that the reference was so brief. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, what else can you do, really? I mean, not that I'm trying to, like downplay it or anything like that, but I mean, at a certain point, like you really can't do much about it, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so it's something where, you know, you present it the way it is, and you know, I mean, you're not asking somebody to have like some, I don't know, for lack of a better term, deep psychological analysis of the person in question. I mean, I mean, with those things, I always figured they're more of like if this is the like, are you serious kind of thing. We're not just gonna give this out to anybody.
Yeah,
you know, just like you gotta go through this rigmarole and get this done. So, you know, so you want, and then once you get it done, we'll, you know, so you aren't just some, you know, fly by night, you know, just wouldn't it be cool if kind of mentality about things. So I can appreciate that, you know, just the fact.
It's okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where, well, good for you, I guess, for helping out.
I've only done
somebody.
this to her a few people too. Yeah, she's the third. Yeah, I did it.
Wow.
There's
It's
not
kind
many
of like
people.
it's kind of like the marriages I've done. I've only married 2 couples. So,
No.
so you know, if you come to Minnesota, I can sign your piece of paper, and
I already signed the paper once. I'm not doing it again.
and change your life forever. And
yeah, I did that once already. I'm not doing it again.
Nah. Yeah, I don't know.
It was just like I said, a weird week. The kid, did I tell you about the kid choking on the candy last week?
Yeah, you did.
So his father's a cop, and once every week or every other week, we just end up in somebody's driveway. It'll be mine or theirs, and we'll just sit around and talk. The 3 or 4 of the neighbors, the men usually, and the women.
As people do, it's like the king of the hill thing. You know?
Yeah. And then the women will come by if you know, if the children are settled or whatever, and we'll drink and talk and stuff like that. But Bob was the father of the kid was asking me, you know, what happened. I went through it and I said, you know, your wife handled it very well. She was very calm. She didn't panic, all that. She calmed the kid down and all that. And we started talking about training, you know, and I was like, didn't she get? I would assume because you're a cop, you give her like some CPR training or something. He's like, nah. And then we started talking about like the cops and their training with electrical, and he was saying, most people don't realize if you have like a down power line and it's on the ground, that arc can spread up to 30 feet. So if that's live and you're like within 20 feet or whatever, you could get electrocuted from it.
Okay.
Most people don't know that. Even the cops didn't know that. And where Bob is over in Maryland, and I was talking to him about that. And you know, there's warnings of this happening. Like if you look at a power line pole, there's these round, like sort of like coin looking things up there. There's usually 2 or 3 of them. That's the ground from the power. When they burn out, it's going to go straight into the ground. And I said they're warning signs. You know, you'll see them fry up, stuff like that. Stay 30 feet away from a down power line if it's hot, even if it's not jumping around. You never know if it's still hot or not. Yeah. But it's just odd that, you know, because he's always out there in traffic accidents and all that. They don't train him on stuff like that. And even the CPR, like I had it, but we'd get recerted once every 5 years, maybe. It should have been every year.
So you just made me think of something that like is completely have almost nothing to do with what you're talking about. But you made me think of this. And it's something that just doesn't really exist anymore. But I can remember like being in a car as a kid, like driving to my grandparents' house in the middle of freaking nowhere in North Dakota. And there used to be a lot more standing telephone lines or or power lines or what have you, right? Because that's because we needed telephone lines. If you want to talk to somebody, you had to use, we didn't have satellites, we didn't bury the stuff in the ground as much as we do now. There's a lot of things that, and I can remember like sitting in my dad's Monte Carlo driving to Washburn, North Dakota, and just staring out the window at the things going by. And I remember because the telephone lines, for one, there was like, or the power lines, then there were four of them, right? It was like two, there was the T's, and then they two on one side and two on the other, and they weren't taut, right? I mean, they weren't tight. They break them. They were built so they had a, for like, they had a little dip, like this or whatever. But I can remember just staring out the window as a kid, and because of the optical illusion of it being in North Dakota and it being like flat, so like the ground's flat, you're looking at the sky's blue or gray or whatever, and it's just a flat color. If you just focused on the lines, it was actually like, it felt, it's weird how I don't know how to explain this, but it was like you actually like kind of like your eyes got to a point where it was like you just felt like it was like woo, woo. Like basically the wires were actually kind of doing their own movement kind of thing, if you understand what I'm saying. Like if you just because you focus on it and it seemed like instead of you moving, it was just these things going. And I always used to love this, like you'd have to like kind of almost like kind of like the hidden object in those weird unfocus your eyes and then it pops for you. It's same kind of thing. You'd stare at it. And I remember like that was a cool optical illusion. And I don't know. It's some things like that I remember. And I always wonder if anybody else ever remembers. But I mean, I think it's like a very specific situation where you had to be older and then you had to go on trips in long, like straight flat areas where without a lot of like, with no mountains or anything in the background too.
I get like that, looking down on the tracks in the train while it was moving. It's sort of a similar thing.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can totally see that. What I always thought was cool was two things. I remember as a kid, like being outside and being on a swing set at night. And if you're swinging back and forth on a swing set and you looked up and you saw the moon, because of the fact that you knew you were moving, but because of the fact that like the moon's stationary, obviously, but because you're moving and your perspective is changing, it felt like the moon kind of moved back and forth with you, because it was like, once again, you were on a and you can sometimes get that a little bit if like you are like, if you're able to stare at the moon and there's clouds, like it'll feel like the moon's moving through the clouds instead of the clouds moving. It's one of those cool optical illusions that I've always
sometimes too.
Yeah, and you just can kind of, and they actually, and not that this is anything, but that's actually like, and this is on a more serious note, that is actually like a very, very serious thing that can happen to pilots. That they, and because at night, because you lose the perspective. You lose the perspective of the things that you see. You don't think that you are as low or as high, you misjudge where you are, and then all of a sudden it's too late, because you're not paying attention to what's going on. And that, yes, the lights that are on like water towers and things like that, they are so people can so planes don't run into them, obviously, right? But it is also so people that are flying have points of reference, and they can see those, and then it like actually affects them. I mean, that's just, again, one of those weird things that, like, when I was a kid, it was just kind of like more prevalent, if you will. I don't know, man. It was I think it's one of those things where you get older and you just the world's not a mystery anymore. You're just kind of screwing around. I don't know. I don't know if Evan or anybody else has shown up today. It might just be me and you. Actually, I mean, if we don't get more people, we might call it early. Actually, if you're interested, Barry, I might want to make you play a game online. No, I want to get your feedback on anybody who has played Champions of Midgard, Reavers of Midgard. We Gray Fox Games, we have a Kickstarter that's probably coming up here at the end of July. We're going to launch, and it is two, and I would say small box games, like here, this little tiny box. I mean, these would be like, I don't even know what another game box would be, but it's like, it's not going to be a larger box. It's not going to be a big square box. It's going to be a smaller box, but two smaller box games. One is called Clans of Midgard, which is a draft and write and fight, and the other one is a Reavers of Midgard, the card game, and they're both excellent games. Anyway, I want to make you play Clans of Midgard with me, and I want to get your feedback. I want to know what you think about it. But and just for I mean, I haven't posted the update. I will have an update very, very soon. So last light here, actually, I'll pull up, because I actually had an email from our production guy our rep for our manufacturer. Give me a second here. I'll pull this up. This is big time. And if you were at Dice Tower East, you can actually Roy has a copy right now. You can go, and he's probably in there showing it off and going crazy with it. But anyway, here
Oh, you didn't go to Dice Tower East?
no, I did not go to Dice Tower East.
I can't imagine how hot it is down there if it's this hot up here.
Yeah, it's probably crazy. All right, production is done, and the packaging and everything they said to put everything together, and all the things will be ready, and like that means on palletized and ready to be picked up by the 25th of July. So we're arranging. I'm working with setting up a container and having somebody ready to snag those as close to that date as possible. And then if that happens, we should have everything at the end of August, and then we'll start fulfilling things at that point and sending the stuff out. So, and we have a different fulfillment company now that we're not going to be using what we used before. So there you go. That's some pretty big breaking news as far as that goes. So but anyway, if you search World of Midgard on Kickstarter, there is a notify me on launch. We've got like over 625 people, I think, waiting for it. We've only really been pushing people towards it in the last couple of days. Excuse me. So go ahead and search for that and click on the button, notify on launch, all that fun stuff. We'll let you know when it launches and what have you. I can actually show you. Let me see here. Let me pull up Tabletop Simulator since we got nothing else going on. I can show you Clans of Midgard, the Tabletop Simulator I have for Reavers of Midgard, the card game, unfortunately, like it doesn't have art, so I'm not going to show you that one because it's kind of ugly. It's a really fun game though. I'll tell you about that one while I boot up Table Plus in there. So Reavers of Midgard, the card game, it's for 2 to 5 people. Depending upon the number of players, there are a certain number of destinations or islands, so to speak, that you can go to. And as a Viking, and so you'll turn over a card that'll tell you to populate each of these destinations with a certain amount of spoils of war. The idea is that you're going to those locations and you're conquering them, and then you are going to be able to claim those spoils of war. So when everybody has a hand of cards in their hand that, and each of you will have the exact same cards, and each one of those cards is one of the destinations that's on the board. When you select that destination, you will put it face down in front of you until everybody else is picked, and then you'll all flip it over at the exact same time. If you go to a destination and nobody else goes there, you get everything. You go there, you conquer it, and you take whatever's there. And it's like, whether it's gold or farms or castles or what have you, you'll claim it and it's yours. If you go to a location and at least one other person has gone there, you and that person, and if there's more than one other person, like 2 or 3 of you or whatever, you have to negotiate. You basically have to split the spoils. You all showed up, you conquered it, and now you have to figure out who gets what. And there's no timer, but we say like if you can't come up with a way to divvy up the spoils within a minute, and that's for each group, you can decide that. Then nobody gets anything. You leave the spoils there, and everybody gets a shame token, which basically is negative points at the end of the game. So the cool thing is that after you've picked your location that you're traveling and you put it up, you have to leave that card on the table. So everybody can see, okay, well, they've already gone to that location, so they can't go back there. So then you flip another card over, you populate the spoils again. And if no spoils were taken on a spot, either because a negotiation didn't happen or nobody went there, they pile up. And so there'll be more and more stuff there. And so and then you can kind of figure out, okay, well, I think that person's going to go there. I think they're going to go there, and so on and so forth. And there's stuff like that. And so you just go through, depending upon the number of players, there's a certain number of rounds of flipping a card over, populating spoils, pick location. You do that. And then after you flipped over the last location, you then there's also, I should mention, there is one location that everybody can go to, and that's kind of like the trading post. So when you go to the trading post, you don't trade with other players, but you can trade with like there's a trading post where you can turn certain resources into others and stuff like that, so you can maximize points depending upon set collection and some other things you do. I should also mention that when you're doing your negotiation, anything's fair game. It doesn't just have to be the stuff that's on that spot when you're trying to figure it out. It could be, look, I've got 3 gold here. I'll give you that 3 gold, but I really want to get the treasure in this spot, like the treasure chest in this spot. So I'll trade you the 3 gold I have for that, because maybe the treasure chest completes a set for you, or something like that. So, and then negotiation is anything. And you can even promise, okay, the next time we end up in the same place, I promise that I will accept whatever trade you offer me, that kind of thing. Now, you're not bound to that, like forward facing, trades, you aren't bound to that at all, but that's also on the table. So it plays about 45 minutes. It's the one thing I really like about it is the fact that there's no slowdown point. I mean, it's like literally everybody put a card down, flip it over, go to your spot, collect your stuff, argue a little bit over, well, I really want this. Well, I really want that. Okay, well, if I give you this, can I have that? Okay, fine. That sounds good. And like, it's not meant to be a super long, heavy game, but it does have a lot of really cool decisions. And I always like games with the reveal moments. I just think those are fun. You put the card down, you're like hoping that nobody's going to go to the spot that you're at. That's kind of like where I end up. That's why I like stuff like that. So, all right, let me see if I can find, there we go. Clans of Midgard. Look this up. Show. What people, did you get the Uber version of last night? Now you wanted to play first. Yeah, I rarely buy anything, but I went for that one. Oh, well, thanks very much. I'll say this about Last Light is that we've been working on the next expansion content already. So you can probably expect to see that in the future. So here we go. So I'm just going to show you guys. I'm sorry for like the commercial, but I'm gonna share my. So there you go. So this is Clans of Midgard. This is not completely final as far as how this is going to work. But this is just going to be kind of a brief little overview. Once we have an actual rule book with images, we're gonna show this off, and we're going to actually make this public. So if you have TTS and you want to give it a try, you can definitely do it. To play this game, since it is a roll and write, you will have to use your pen to draw little markings or whatever to mark stuff off or whatever. And then obviously you can use the eraser button to like that. All right, so I'll just this to briefly show you, and so what happens since it's a drafting game, each person will start with a certain number of cards. So I'm just gonna go ahead and actually I need to pick a spot before I can actually do anything. So let's just go ahead and do this, and let's just go ahead and I'll just take these cards in my hand. So just like any drafting game, you pick one card and then you pass the rest to your left. And then the second round, you're going to pass to the right. The third round, you're going to pass to the left. Fourth round, pass to the right. And then you'll just pass cards around. And this handles 2 to 4 people. Before each game, you will form a god deck, which basically would be like 2 cards off the first stage deck of the gods that you pick. So in this case, this god that you're going to be picking here is Freyr. Score 2 additional points whenever you tie in a territory conflict. This is just a way for the extra points. In order to get the god, you basically have to be the person that gets the most cards that have the offerings. Now I might as well talk about the cards a little bit, just so you know, there's like all these little symbols or whatever you on the cards. But I mean, let's pretend these are the cards I ended up with when I drafted. And so when you mark these things off, so let's say this is the first round. I have a card with 1 offering. The 1 on that means nothing other than the fact that if I tied with somebody else that has more offerings, like whoever's got the highest number on their offering deck. So if I had 3 offerings, somebody else had 3 offerings, but they had, the highest number I had was like a 3, but they had an offering that had a 6, they would get the god if we tied. That's just what the number is. It isn't like this is worth 1 offering. And so whoever gets the god just takes the god, puts it next to the thing to show they have it. And some gods have an immediate power that you could use. Some gods have a different thing. Some guys have some like this have like a way to score points that's different from everybody else. But then what you do is you just go ahead and process your turn. After everybody gets their cards, they just flip them over and each person will just process. And this is like one of my absolute favorite games that we've made in a long time. So the first thing is these purple numbers, so like 1, 2, these are just straight points. However, so 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9. So I would put that, this is just straight glory. And like I have 9 points here. But you notice these little like greater than things. The next round, in order to score, I had to score greater than 9 glory the next round. I had to score greater than that number this round. I had to score greater than that number this round. If you ever don't, you just put a 0 there because you don't get any glory. And then the next round, you just have to score more than 0, which you'll probably do. So that's kind of a cool thing with the glory, how that works. And then the other things are like just marking off the runes. So there's a P rune, so I'll mark that one off. I have an M, mark that. I have a G. and so forth. You'll go through these things and you'll mark them off. When you get something that has this with a C or a D, I can pick which ones. Let's say I'm going to pick the D, because this one, if I can get that V, that's worth 2 points, and so I can keep my eye out for that one. And then the S, and then you look out for the A, and so you just mark those off like that. And then so you can see there's lots of cool things each one of these cards does. Now the big thing here is, okay, well actually let's do slayers. So if you have 2 of the same symbol, you get the slaying points for that particular monster. In this case I have 2 trolls, so I'll get a troll points. I have 2 zombies or Draugr, so I'll get the Draugr points, and I have 2 dragons, so I'll get the dragon points. However, I don't have 2 kraken, so I'm not going to get the big 6 here, but I will score 5, 9. I'll score a total of 9 for slaying, like so. And then when we get to these, it's like, so these are going to be the clans. And actually, this would never happen in a game where I only have 1 clan, which is the wolf. That would be, this would be an extremely good result for me if I actually managed to do that. There are other things. Obviously, there's the Raven clan, the Boar clan, or the Wolf clan. So what you're going to do is you're going to look, and so for every one of these that I have, I get to place one of my Vikings out for this. And so like that first one says I get to place a Viking there. Next one says there. Next one says blue. This one I get to place 2, so I'm going to place 1 here and 1 there. I can place that one on purple. Then green, blue, and purple again. So green, blue, and purple. And then, so you'll notice each of these has like a number on it. If they ever have that number or more Vikings in those locations, let's just like say this, then there's going to be a fight over this. And whoever has the most Vikings in those locations is going to win that fight. So if this was that case, I'd win this. And that would mean that these people would lose their Vikings. They go to Valhalla. I'll talk about Valhalla here briefly. And then I take these 2 and I would place these 2 right there. And actually these Valhalla ones go over here like that. And you do that for each one of these locations. If you score less than, you don't get to do that. If you have, let me just make this happen. So this is, you would need 7 over here. So let's just kind of cheat a little bit. And actually, I don't want to cheat like that. I want to cheat in a way that makes the explanation of this mechanism work really well. So in this case, there's going to be a fight there because there's 7 or there's exactly 7 than what we need to fight in this location. But because I have this card with that symbol on it, the Valkyrie, the purple Valkyrie, I get to roll this die, and I'm going to get to add Vikings to that spot because I have the Valkyries. They're going to help me fight. In this case, I didn't get 2, which I wanted. I only got 1 because I'm going to get, so I get to add 1 Viking. But now I have 3, they have 3, and they have 2. So me and green are actually going to share the victory. And so then these things will go over here like that. And you do that for every territory that you fight over. And then you, in the territories location, like I count how many Vikings I had, I had 5 Vikings that won a battle. So then I would draw a 5 there to show I did that. And because I won both in green and purple, I would mark those off to show that I had it. And for each one that you complete of those, that if you see here, they're worth more and more as it progresses. And because I had that Valkyrie, I'll mark off the Valkyrie, and each one of these Valkyries you have progresses like so. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to digest, and I apologize for the commercial here, but it's no, I mean, the game, I mean, I have play tested this game probably 50 times, and I still really like it every single time I play it. It's fun. You have agonizing decisions that you have to make. Oh, and I remember I see this, because I tied, I get an extra 2 victory points. So actually I would have got 7 instead. So I would have had 7 in that because I tied in that one location. But yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things where it's it doesn't take a lot of time. You have some tough decisions to make when it comes to which cards you pick. Like, oh, this card's got the ruin I need, but I really want to be able to have, I really want to get another Kraken or whatever, so I can get those 6 points, stuff like that. And there's lots of different ways to score points. And after about 30 minutes, you're done. And it's a fun little draft and write and fight. And obviously you're gonna get a pad of these things and you'll just fill them out as you play. I can usually take or leave.
Board games?
No, like in general, I can take or leave roll and rights or any right, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this one I have a lot of fun. It's super cool. And as soon as we have that available for people to actually play, and the designer is Travis Chance of former Alaboom fame. So there you go. But you break the seal, Kooky Kid. Did Roy do the expansion? Yes, Roy is heavily involved in the design of the new expansion. So well, Robert, we didn't have any Last Light at Origins, so I don't know how I could have possibly gotten that for you.
Don't lie. You got them stuck in the back room.
No,
don't lie. There's thousands of them just sitting there. You're just doing this to piss people off.
No, yeah. I would hate to have us be making money, and what have you. So, anyway, so that's those then. And if you back Bazaars of Ubar, that's actually being put on a container right now. So we should be shipping that. You guys should have that. If you back that one from us, you'll have that like relatively soon, as it were. So, I don't know, man. What else you got for me?
Yeah, not much. Neighbor tried to electrocute me again. Damn kid. I'm going to a concert. My brother called me. And Guns N' Roses is going to play up in Hershey. So him and my sister were talking about going up, and my sister's going to get my niece and nephew to watch her daughter. And then the next day they were going to go take them to Hershey Park for watching my youngest niece. So they asked if me and Joe wanted to go up, and we said, yeah, sure. But we weren't going to stay the night and then go to the Hershey Park the next day. It's just that part would be too much on me, I think. But the tickets for concerts nowadays is outrageous. And like, it wasn't general admission. It was a sit down seat, but it wasn't like a crazy. It was the really cheap ones, and they were like 150 a piece, and they went up to like $4 or $5 grand. It was just nuts how much tickets are for that type of stuff.
I mean, you think you'll do it?
What?
Do you want to go see Guns N' Roses? I saw Guns N' Roses a couple.
Yeah,
of
well, I'm
times.
going to go. I would have liked to see them back when Axl could sing, but I'd like to see Slash live, even if it wasn't with Guns N' Roses. So, yeah, we are going to go. It's the 11th of August, I think it is. But yeah, I couldn't believe how expensive them tickets got. And he's having a hard time with the place because Hershey's a small town, and this is kind of a big concert for them. So everything within the town is booked up, hotel wise.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've been to a concert. Honestly, I don't.
It was back in the late 90s for me. Nah, early 2000s.
I think
very early 2000s.
The last concert I think I attended. I think it was like, I actually went and listened to music. I think it was Gordon Lightfoot. And I was like, and I've talked about that story before, that my dad just ended up with an extra ticket, and he's like, you want to go see Gordon Lightfoot? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And he retired shortly afterwards. So I got to see, and then he recently just passed away. So I guess I got that going for me. You got to see Gordon Lightfoot.
Jen went. I was supposed to go with her. She saw. It was Billy Joel, but I don't remember if Elton John was with him or not. But I ended up working or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was Elton John. Yeah,
Well,
when they were,
remember when Elton John and Billy Joel were on tour? They said it was gonna be the last time ever, and like, but that's
they
not.
did that 7 times. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they never. It's never the
every
last time.
band does it. The Stones does it. Rod Stewart does it.
This time we're serious.
Mhm.
Yeah, just like
The Beatles are the only ones who said we're not coming back. Yeah,
and then John died. So I mean,
that's why they're not coming back. No, they
Well-
could. They could. I think his son would have filled in for Lennon, Julian. I think they sound a lot alike. I think if the Beatles wanted to, they could have continued with Julian. Yeah.
Was he old enough at that time?
Oh, look, it's Evan, everybody.
At that, yeah, he was in his 20s, I believe.
Oh, was he? Okay. It's
Yeah, it's
that
a shame
guy.
his career got killed because he looked and sounded so much like John.
Hey, Evan's here too. Now I can make him play. I can make him play the game and get his feedback. Cool.
I'm in. What up?
We'll play it. I mean, I think we're gonna do an early boom tonight, and then I'm gonna make you play a game.
Yeah, you can make Evan play.
Yeah.
I don't have tabletop simulator.
You don't have tabletop simulator?
No.
Well, I'll buy it for you.
I don't want it.
What do you mean you don't want it?
I don't like playing board games on the computer.
I don't like you complaining about.
I'm not complaining. I don't have it. I don't need to complain about it. You're the one complaining that I don't have it. I have no complaints about not having it.
It's fair.
So, Evan, did you light anything on fire yesterday?
I did not. I did eat some sausages that had been lit on fire for a bit.
The other end.
That was pretty good.
But my neighbor was showing me on the phone somewhere. Somebody had a bunch of fireworks in a van, and they were lighting fireworks off the side of the van, and I think it was like a Roman candle or
Sounds
something.
like a bad plan.
Went
Go
into
on.
the van,
Yeah,
and the van
yeah.
just instantly caught on fire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Well, they didn't insult me. I think I could have predicted that one. Especially if somebody's capturing it on video, you know what's going to happen. If nobody was filming, it probably wouldn't have caught on fire.
50-50.
It's somebody's law. Barry's law. If you're filming it, it's going to go wrong.
Yeah. I had when I was younger, we were up the mountains. They put a Roman candle on a post. It was termite infested. They didn't realize it, I guess. And it fell over and started shooting into us watching it. But my dog went after it and started chopping on the balls as they were shooting.
Hey,
That poor dog. We had her running around in the swimming pool trying to get her mouth to cool down and all that.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one that got hurt, luckily, or unluckily.
Yeah.
Playing a lot of Scrabble there, buddy.
Me? Oh, that sucker. I actually haven't played Scrabble in a hot minute. That's just sitting up there because that's where it fit.
Jen used to play that a lot with her mother.
Yeah, my mom will just crush anybody's face in Scrabble. It's ridiculous. She knows so many stupid words.
Yeah, it's
And not
fun.
just the 2-letter ones that are dumb, but like every word. My mom knows every word. It's ridiculous.
I remember my dad and his wife. They had the super deluxe one that had the spinning board and the yeah. Is that the one?
That's what it is.
And
Jen
then,
has
and then,
one.
and
Yeah.
then when you can slot the things and they stay in place because there's little indentations for the tiles. Is that the same one you got?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it spins. I don't remember if it has the indentations or not.
Well, if it's spinning, you got to have that. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're going to be like things are going to move around.
Oh,
on you.
yeah. Deluxe turntable Scrabble.
Deluxe.
Deluxe.
Yeah.
They're still selling it.
Oh,
So
it's
What are we playing?
well, we'll talk about it later. Just
Oh,
you,
okay.
what
Secret-
else
top
is
secret?
cool and new for you? No, just because I already talked about it and I don't want to
Okay.
bore people with the
Okay.
information again.
What's
Well,
new for
he's-
you?
Hey, Evan, your mic's a little low. Just
Is
a
it?
hair.
I think it's because my mic is trying to compensate for my air conditioner being on
Okay.
because it's like 80 degrees in here.
We'll turn off your air conditioner.
Yeah.
Sweat it out.
Your wife and kid don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Don't turn it off. What is he doing? Yeah, you're right, Lance.
Ah.
Poor Fab's gonna be sweating balls so he can talk.
There we go.
You're still low.
Oh, well,
He's
shoot, I don't know
fine. Quit giving him the business.
then. Is it any different?
No.
No? All right, well, I'm turning it back on then.
There you go. I would have turned. the
I
volume
should
up.
ask. I should ask. Does anybody have any grievances? You know, any things that are bothering them right now? It's okay if you don't.
I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
What's happening?
Grievance?
Me? Grievance?
Yeah.
Oh, man, my life's pretty good.
Other than the rain and the heat, that's the only grievance I got.
We don't have any rain over here. It's hot.
Oh, it was raining for the last like 8-9 days, and then the humidity and the heat just kicked in overnight. It was like
Oh, yeah.
with the humidity and all, I think it was like 100-degree warning, temperature warning.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like, you know, real feel,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I think we're at like 92 outside right now. Something like that.
It finally cooled off in the Midwest. So
Are you guys up there?
yeah, I live in Minnesota.
No, I mean up there temperature wise, not up there.
Oh no, like
geographically.
today it was like 75, you know.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Do not see any snow piled up behind you, so
No, I got that.
You got it.
Yeah, I mean I got the no snow yet anyway.
Yeah.
I read I still remember the first time ever I was driving in the middle of winter and during a snowstorm and there was lightning. And it's like it's a really rare thing, but it
Yeah.
happens. And
Yeah,
it's just
I've seen
like
it.
yeah, it's
Was it a
as
blizzard when I
Lewis
saw it?
Black said, this is weather you don't read about in the Bible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I saw it in a blizzard. It was interesting.
no, I mean it's the static discharge still builds up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
you know, but
Yeah, I
makes
came close to
sense.
getting electrocuted with lightning ones. I never want to do that again.
you were struck by lightning.
I was in a train that was.
Hmm.
Oh,
I said close to being electrocuted. You know, I don't. It was pitch
Close enough for
black.
me.
Then it was. I could see it was like daytime, and then it was just white. Yeah, and I was like 2 or 3 cars back from the one that got hit.
Yeah, no thanks.
And then the noise was just outrageous. I like my ears were like clogged up. It, like there's pressure in them and all. It's nuts.
Yeah, do not want to be hit by lightning. No thanks.
Then we had to fix the trains. You know, we had to reboot them. The whole yard actually blew out the whole yard.
Where's Aldi and
Aldi's on BGG at sea. He's at
Oh,
sea.
I knew that. I knew
He's
that.
at sea.
Well, tell him to log in at sea.
He was.
He did for like about maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
He's at dinner.
Okay. He always gives you crap, Lance, when you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
Here,
does
what
your-
does it says?
Does your hotel not have internet?
Thunder snow is a kind of thunderstorm with snow falling as the primary precipitation. Precipitation instead of rain. It is considered a rare phenomenon. It typically falls in regions of strong upward motion within the cold sector of an extratropical cyclone. Thermodynamically, it is not different from any other type of thunderstorm, but the top of the cumulonimbus cloud is usually quite low. In addition to snow, graupel, or hail may fall as well. The graupel is snow, like basically wet hail kind of thing. Graupel is called soft hail, hominy snow, or snow pellets.
Similar to Dippin' Dots.
And heavy snowfall tends to muffle the sound of the thunder, so that it sounds more like a low rumble than the loud, sharp bang that is heard during regular thunderstorms. There are three main causes of thunder snow, such as the normal snowstorm. This sustains strong vertical mixing, which allows for favorable conditions for lightning and thunder to occur. It can also occur from the lake effect or ocean effect thunderstorm, which is produced by cold air passing over relatively warm water. This is your today I learned.
I forgot to warn all about the killer whales. There's a pod of killer whales, like teenage whales, they think, that are attacking people in boats.
Really?
Very rare, yeah. But it's a group of, they think they're like teenage males. Yeah.
They're just screwing around.
Out there being dicks.
Yeah. But apparently they're like doing some damage.
They got nothing better to do.
Yeah. I doubt they go with their liner like that, but that boat he's on is huge. I was on a small one and that was huge. Yeah. Yeah, that was from the 90s.
All I know is those things are ginormous, man.
They are.
I did up in the San Juans. I was doing some kayaking in the ocean or whatever. And the little pod of orcas went underneath us, like directly underneath us. And you get filled with that sense of like, I could totally be a snack if they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
You didn't put your arms out, look like a seal.
There's nothing I could have done about it if they got hungry. Just like, not even a chance. Tiny infinitesimal speck.
Yeah. That's why I don't like the ocean. There's all sorts of shit down there trying to kill you. Sharks, whales.
Right?
Submersibles. Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that.
Eesh, indeed.
Bigger boat.
Eesh.
Did anybody see the new Indiana Jones?
No,
No, I'm hoping I can go to it maybe next week.
I'm gonna wait. It'll be out next month on Disney.
Yeah, probably.
But
I'm excited. I'll watch
I
it.
don't have high hopes for this. I didn't before it came out. I didn't.
It's got like it's
still enjoy it.
getting like solid B to B plus reviews.
Yeah, that's good
so,
enough. That's good enough for me.
So this is something I thought about. Remember how everybody trashed on number 4 for like having like ridiculous things like the
skull, the aliens.
Crystal skulls.
well, the aliens and the skull and
Yeah.
like I mean and also obviously the
magic.
refrigerator. You know, they you know like
Well,
so but I mean it's
that
like
was Spielberg.
well, no, actually
or Lucas.
Yeah, that was
Whatever.
Spielberg. Yeah, Lucas. Spielberg on. I thought you were saying the other thing. No, so I mean, is that any more different than like jumping out of a plane in a inflatable raft
Nah.
and then pulling on it and then landing on the side of a mountain so you
It's fine.
survive a plane crash? I mean,
Nah. It's typical disbelief. That didn't really bother me that much. I mean, all right. Yeah, you flipped around in a refrigerator, big deal. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I just love any return to a loved thing. I don't care if it's not that great. I'm still gonna enjoy it.
I mean, he's also see people rip the guy's heart out of his chest, and he talked to a knight that was 1,000 years old. So you flip around in the refrigerator, you can't do that part. I mean,
Kalima.
I didn't go,
Alima.
the last one I didn't go in looking to take it apart. And this one I won't either. I'll just go, it'll be like a beer and pretzels movie to me. You know, I'm just there for
Yeah.
the ride. But I don't think I would have paid $20 a ticket to see it in a movie theater. You know.
Right. That makes sense.
We went to see that Transformers last week or week before. Jen just wanted to get out and go to a movie, and that was the only thing there. You know, other than the Flash, she didn't want to see. And there was something else that I forget. But it was so loud in there. I didn't remember that. Granted, the theater had like 12 people in it, but the volume of that was just so loud it hurt my ears. My teeth were like shaking. And I was like, I don't remember enjoying this before. You know,
Yeah.
it's the
I
first
never
time I've
go
been to
out.
one in a while.
Yeah, I never go to the theaters anymore. It's just my fault they're failing.
But there really hasn't been anything interesting out. I'm thinking about Oppenheimer. I think I would like to see that. in the theater.
Oppenheimer looks good.
Is that the Oppenheimer? Isn't that the guy that did the Manhattan Project?
A-bomb. He's got a pretty boy in it. What's his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Mhm.
Robert Downey Jr.
No,
Jack Quaid.
no.
Matt Damon.
The guy playing Ken in the Barbie movie. He played in La La Land. What the hell is his name?
I don't know.
It's escaping me.
I didn't even
Ryan
know that was-
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling's in this?
Yeah, he's playing Oppenheimer,
Not in the one that I'm looking at.
isn't he?
Cillian Murphy.
Oh yeah, it is.
Jillian.
Maybe they made a different one.
I think it was Gosling.
I don't know. Because he's in everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe.
In everything else. No, I mean it's kind of like back in the day when like Michael Caine was in every movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As well, he should have.
that's true.
As well, he should have been.
Oh, Robert De Niro's grandchild died today or yesterday. I forget.
Yeah, I think I saw or heard that on the radio or something like that.
Shame.
You got any good news for us?
I didn't even know he had a grandchild. I knew he had a daughter. I didn't know she had a child.
I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff.
I just thought it was a shame.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
He gets a kid, he loses a kid, you know. He's gonna have one 78-year-old or 80-year-old, whatever he is.
He's getting up there, right?
Yeah.
Who?
De Niro.
De Niro? Yeah, he's in his 80s.
Yeah.
They're
all getting old.
Well, no, they're all getting old, which I mean, God bless them, right? But one of the things about that was he had that movie, the Irishman, or what was that? What was it called, The Irishman?
Yeah,
It was
The
on
Irishman.
Netflix or whatever, and it was like 8 hours long.
It was a bad movie.
But they tried to like age, like use CGI to make him look younger or whatever like that. But I mean, like in any scene that when he had that one scene where he had to go like beat up the guy that said something nasty to his daughter or something like that, and like, okay, you're trying to make him look like he's 50, but he's moving like an 80-year-old man. You know, it's just like, which you know, God bless. You know, I mean, it's just like hopefully we're all lucky enough to get to that point ourselves, right? You know, so it definitely had a.
This is an 8.1 on IMDb and a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Who's saying it's bad?
For what,
It
The Irishman?
was too long. And
They watched the same movie I watched?
Yeah, Irishman was too
Yeah, it was.
long. It was just, I mean, that was a movie that I couldn't watch it all in one sitting.
No.
I was like, I'll come back to this tomorrow.
Well, it's based on Ed Sheeran's dad, Frank Sheeran.
Yeah, that was. And it wasn't that great of a story.
Wasn't that good, right?
Yeah.
It went on forever.
A lot of movies now, most of them are over 2 hours long now. I mean,
It's definitely getting a little ridiculous.
Any Marvel movies, at least 2.5, 3. Yeah.
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 Batman movies, same thing.
It
Trying to fit all the good stuff in there.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else cool. What's going on? Nobody's got any grievances, huh? I mean,
Grievances, man. Life's
I
I don't try to think of them. Just
well,
move
no,
on.
I mean,
It's
like,
over.
well, I will say this. I had
Kids cry over spilled milk.
no. I did have. I usually don't get snarky, but I was having kind of. I was one of those things where I had my wife.
The fuck you getting?
It's like I've only known you snarky.
No, I mean like to strangers, right?
Oh,
And I
okay.
was like, so I went to go get my wife a coffee one morning, like last week, and I was like waiting in line at the same coffee shop I go to every single time. And I was waiting, and I was just kind of staring, and and it was like, and it just seems like most people are like they know exactly what they want, they order it and they go, and they just there's no weirdness or anything like that. I'm going to order my thing and I'm going to go. I'm going to order my thing and I'm going to go. But every once in a while you get those people that like, they get up in there and they're like, oh, I mean, what do you think's good? What's your favorite that they have here? And you're just like, oh, shoot me. Because I'm already waiting, like, because there's like, and there's never a line. But in this particular day, there was just like 11, 12 people in line. And I was just, so I'm just kind of staring at my phone and I'm just kind of waiting and I'm just kind of waiting. And then like the last two people before me, there's two people that are like, gonna get up there and they're just like, oh, well, the first one was the same thing. Well, what's your favorite drink to get here? And I'm just like, oh, just pick a coffee or something, do something. And then the second person, kind of the same thing. Like I usually get this, but then I get this. I mean, it's like, is there something new I should try? And I was just like, come on, just why is this happening? And I'm just
happening to me.
Yeah, why is this happening to me? And the guy, there's a guy standing behind me, and he's just kind of laughing because he sees me losing my mind, and he's laughing, and I'm laughing, and we're doing whatever. So finally, this person gets done in front of me, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. I and they see me, and I get the same damn thing every single time. It's just like in the winter, it's hot, and in the summer, it's iced. I mean, that's the only difference. Just other than that, it's the exact same thing. And I'm like, this person pays for a thing, walks away. This woman from nowhere just walks in front of me and walks up to the counter. And I was like, and she's just like, you didn't give me the whatever it was like. It was something like, it's like, I'm looking at my charge and it's 85 cents too much. You charged me 85 cents too much. And I go like this. Like, what the? And the guy behind, I hear go, and they're like, and she's like pointing to something on her phone, and she's like saying this, that, and the other thing. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. What's going, I mean, just and there's a line of like 6, 7 people still behind me. Who just says, I'm just gonna walk right up.
She does.
And not even like the moment of like saying, I'm so sorry. I've got to figure this out. I apologize.
They didn't even see you.
And it was like, oh, they overcharged me by $8 or something. Yeah, fine. I get it. 85 cents. If I had 3/4 and a dime, I would have walked up, slapped him in her hand, and I said, now go. Go. Yeah. Go on, get.
Go on, get.
Oh,
They don't care.
but I'll say this. So after she then made me wait an extra 4 or 5 minutes before I could just go do my order and pay for the thing, I walked up and she was like kind of, because she had to wait she was like, I don't know if she was like still drinking her coffee or if she was eating her. I don't know what's going on, but she was still within earshot. And I walked up and I said, where's my, I was like, I'd like my thing, and I want to make sure I get my 85 cents off as well, because I need those damn 85 cents. Just like, and I shouldn't have said
85 cents?
anything. I was
85
being mean. I
That
was
is
being
snarky.
mean,
I like it.
but I was annoyed.
Nah, not you.
I was very, very annoyed.
Les, you should learn by now just not to go out and deal with people. Just stay in your house like a hermit. Order off you Grubhub or something. Don't
Wait
even
on
bother
the porch
leaving
with a
that.
shotgun for someone to wander on your lawn.
But
Get up.
Yeah. Poor lads, every time you go out.
no, it isn't every time. It's just, I mean,
Good
it's one
amount
of
of
those
times you
things
go
where
out.
it just, and it's just like, and my wife always says like something along those lines of like, I can't believe this always happens to you. Like, and then she's with me and it happens to me. And I'm just like, you know,
If I were your wife, I'd have learned my lesson and took myself out of the equation. I wouldn't be around you when this happens. 'Cause I
no,
know
and
how you
I,
feel.
I'm literally like, you know, just bouncing off the walls, you know, just like, you know, I just want to grab them by like the scruff of their neck and like, okay, now we're done. You know, it's like,
You're moving along now.
yes. I
Your
think,
cure is done.
oh no, you're done. You're not, no more conversations. But, oh well.
People don't care. It's all about them. I noticed that in Wawa. Like, I'll be standing at the counter with a crutch, and I'll leave a little bit of amount of room because of the new system they have where they have to get out. But people just walk right in front of me, you know, and I say they hit me in the leg and shit. You know, it's like, I say, excuse me, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
One of these days I'll trick a motherfucker to learn, but yeah, there's just no personal space anymore. Or everybody's about themselves, one or the other.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, especially the Evan people. We know how they are.
For the worst.
Did you play anything this week, Evan, or no?
Yeah. I did.
No, I
Play.
play tested about 7,000 things.
I
and
did
just,
play
like,
test a bunch of stuff, but
because
when
I just
somebody-
love play testing. I just
when
love.
somebody asked me what I played, I assume they mean published games. So I played Turn und Taxis.
What?
Third in Texas. Pick up and
Yeah.
deliver.
It's a good one. I really like
Oh,
it.
turning Texas. I thought you said something in Texas.
Turn und Taxis.
Yeah,
Working
I
on
haven't played that in a
my
while.
fine German accent. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
They're pretty good.
I also played Darwin's Journey Collector's Edition.
I did play the normal edition. What was that like?
I like that one too. Got like a 7.6, 7.7 on it. I think it's good. I liked it. I only played a 2-player though. I wonder how slow or fast it would be at more than that. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't think the
Might
2-player
bump it.
version on games is really good.
No,
Gauge
I
on
liked
them
it.
usually. Yeah.
I liked it a 2-player, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think most of those Euro games, like 3 players, tends to be the best because it's not overly slow, but you still have more interaction going on.
Yeah.
Typically, bunch of Fantasy Realms with the wife.
I've never played that.
No, oh, yeah, it's a classic. It's like one of
Fast
the
Jum's
only-
pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Yeah,
one of the
I
only
think
games
I've
we
ever
can
played it.
squeeze in, like after dinner.
What is it, like an 80 card deck now with the expansion, and every card's different?
Sounds right.
And it's like, and so you pick up one card, and then like there's a card that's face up on the table, and you can either take that card or you can draw a card. And and if you take a card from the table, you can't put that card back down. You got to put down a different card. And if you draw a card from the deck, you can either put the card down that you drew, or you can drop a card that's in your hand. And the game ends, I forget how many, isn't it like 10?
It depends on what you're doing. But the normal version is 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as there are 10 cards on the table, the game is over. And then your cards will tell you how many points you have. And all the cards are something weird that will like interact with each other in weird ways. It's like, it's like you have the tree card. It's worth 5 points. But if you have like water, you get, an extra 10. And if you have the druid, it's worth 20, that kind of thing. And so like, you got to get those cards. But if you have a fire card, the tree's worth nothing, like things like that, Yeah. So it's kind of cool that so you'll be trying to build up the best possible thing that you can have over the course of the game.
We've played Fantasy Realms together 871 times.
You log that?
You log your plays. That's cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do it for you.
I could never do that.
Yeah, I tried
I just
for
started
like a
last year.
month.
I didn't even bother trying.
Although I don't log anything during conventions, so I miss out on quite a few plays. But what are you gonna do? There's just no time because you're always conventions are so hectic.
So busy play testing.
There's no time. Too many play tests.
Playtest.
It's a certain type of
Somebody was
person.
telling me they ended up hanging out with you in the terminal, Lance. Who was that?
It was why can't I think of his name right now?
Not
don't know.
Andrew, was it?
Yeah, it was
Andrew
Andrew. Why can't I think of his
Andrew
name?
Styles, right? Is that right?
Andrew Styles, yeah. Super nice
Yes.
guy.
Yeah, somebody was telling me that he ended up hanging out with you in the terminal. I was like, man, that was supposed to be me.
Yeah,
It
well,
was supposed to be me. You got the wrong guy.
Wrong guy.
yeah, the wrong guy.
What was that from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Well, I know it's like whatchamadick, where what is it?
Come on, spit it out.
Oh
can
no,
do
Clerks or whatever. When he says,
Oh.
yeah, it's like I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, Clerks.
Got the wrong guy.
What did we watch the other day? Oh, the Blues Brothers came on.
Oh man, I haven't seen Blues.
I
Brothers
forgot
in
all
so
about the
long.
Nazi scene in that movie.
I hate it when I Nazis.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot
Lebowski.
all about that. See, it was the first time I watched it in a while. I forget what it came on when we watched
Big Lebowski. Got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
it.
I'm the dude. Yeah, that was kind of cool actually. When I was at Origins, like the room had it had free Showtime, and Big Lebowski was streaming. I can't find my DVD of that anywhere, and I hadn't seen
Yeah,
Big
it's been
Lebowski in a
forever.
long time. And
Been a long time.
I put that in, I started playing it, and I was just kind of like, yeah, this is why this is great. This movie is just so, that movie has it has zero what's the word, like there's zero fat on that movie.
Yeah.
Every single scene, it's purposeful, meaningful, and every single line is like and also next time you watch it, remind yourself that every single line, every single stammer, that was
Scripted.
specifically scripted.
Yeah.
The only ad-libbing he said he was allowed to do was before they started filming a scene, he would say, "Do you think the dude would have toked one up before this scene?" And if they said yes, he'd go and he'd rub his eyes until they were red. And then he'd, so then he would go and then he'd do the scene like that. That was like that is the only bit of ad-libbing. And I just, man, Goodman is just a force of nature in that thing. Just
Yeah,
yeah.
he is.
I mean, and it's just like the little bits where he says, he's like,
Don't
uh,
rock and
you know, it's like-
roll.
yeah, he's like,
One shot.
yeah, it's like, hey, Susio, and he's just like, that, it's like, he's a fucking pervert, dude. And he's like, oh, that, he can roll. No, I mean, serious. He's convicted. Did 5 years up in, for being a pederast. Oh, he's like, it just like the Lebowski, he's like, oh, like, it's like he thought he was just like saying it to be funny, "Oh, he's a fucking pervert, dude." And just like, oh, I'm just, and then it's like, what is this day of rest shit? It just comes running over. That's fine. Me and Liam would have you in the A on Saturday. Now we'll wait till Sunday. Liam, the guy doesn't say a word. He just holds him back during the one scene so he doesn't fight.
I watched he was in one of those Cloverfield movies.
Oh
Goodman
yeah, I
was.
know. Yeah, and he was the creepy guy that was staying in the thing.
That I didn't realize like how good of an actor he really was until I watched that shitty movie. Yeah, he was the best part of that movie. But the way he played a psycho like that was pretty intense on that one.
Jim Hoosier, who the Coen brothers cast to play Liam, has passed over to that golden bowling alley in the sky.
No way. I remember he had a Twitter account and that was all. That was like basically the only claim to fame he had was the fact that he was basically on that in that thing.
Who died?
Basically a character that was in
Big
Big Lebowski, but he never had a line. He was Jesus's
Liam O'Brien.
Alan Arkin did die though.
Oh yeah.
Alan Arkin did recently pass away.
The other day I think it was.
Very sad.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors.
Yeah, he was a good actor.
He was great in Little Miss Sunshine
Yeah.
as the grandpa that
The dirty grandpa.
yeah.
Him and who what was it? They just recently had a show. Him and I think Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good show.
The Kaminsky Method or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I never
Yeah.
saw that.
We watched I don't remember if I got back to it. I have a problem doing that. But I think Jen watched 2 or 3 seasons. The one season I saw was pretty good.
Wow, Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
He's aged a bit.
Oh, he's old.
Father Time, the only
That's
undefeated.
Undefeated in this.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
So,
The Catherine Zeta-Jones doesn't age, apparently.
Yeah, I wonder that's his latest appearance. It might be that show. Alan Arkin. Yeah, I liked him in a few things actually. He was in MASH, right? Wasn't he?
I
No.
think so.
No, I'm thinking somebody else. But I liked him in Catch 22. He's good in that. Yeah, he's a real good actor.
One of my favorite characters he played was in a movie called Indian Summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the in-laws.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if
Serpentine, Shelley, Serpentine.
I-
Runs
I don't know
back
if I've
across
seen
the
that,
street
actually.
or runs back across. In-laws was good.
Yeah.
Um,
What have you been up to, Matthew?
Played D&D tonight.
Yeah.
did you win?
I was DMing, so yes. No, it was a pretty low key session. It was good though.
Did you crush their hopes and dreams?
No, it was mostly an RP session, so
Hmm.
it was good though. I dealt with that. Did I tell you about that druid that I had to put back in line?
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
So we did we did a little thing today where I kind of bent the rules a little bit for this, but in Dragonlance there's this unicorn called the Forest Master,
Yeah.
and she's supposed to be in Darkenwood, but I kind of transported the characters to Darkenwood to deal with this thing because and I kind of did it so that everybody had to participate in this ritual to reconnect this character to the druidic nature sense kind of thing.
Forcing religion on people.
Pardon?
Just messing around.
And it was good. It was like everybody kind of had to donate something into the ritual, whether it was like a material thing or a spiritual or a vocal thing or whatever. It was fun.
That's
It
cool.
was neat. It turned out good.
Did you force him to hold a seance in the Shuriken Grove?
Yeah.
You try to enter. You cannot. Roll again. Try to
Yeah,
enter.
no.
You cannot. You're dead.
Try
You
again.
did.
But yeah, it's busy times right now.
Work on a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I got a pretty fun email yesterday from CGE about a really cool project, which was
nice.
kind of cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, I like CG.
to redo a line
A line, just
line
one
of-
line, just
line of
one-
products.
Oh, a line of
Yeah, that's great.
Uh,
That's not a small amount of work, probably.
No, and it's neat to be able to have influence on like trade dress and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Wow, that's cool.
yeah,
Trade dress is like has to do with the logo and stuff.
trade dress is like your strategy and visual strategy and stuff for across a line or across your for your products. Like logo always goes here, and your templated stuff and
That makes
how your
sense.
products look to the consumer.
Yeah. So they would recognize, oh, that's a CGE product.
Yeah, it's branding for products basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is your grievance today, Matty P?
What is your grievance, Matthew? Did they put the fires out? Are they out up there?
Something has died in the wall and I can't find it.
Oh, that sucks. A couple days, you won't even know anymore.
This is the second time it's happened within a year, so we must
Oh,
have like
no.
some trap outside that
Yeah.
things are fucking dying in, and it's killing me because we're running this Glade plugin or whatever.
It
And
don't help.
all it's doing is like, you remember that commercial? What do you smell now? Pine needles and a wet dog.
Yeah, it's
That's
you
what I
I
smell.
smell
Yeah.
orange poop. Is it orange and poop?
Yeah, so it's really not fun.
Yeah, get an
Yeah,
air
sure.
purifier, man. Like one of those little.
Does it keep
I'm-
happening in one section of the house, or is it different
I
sections?
don't know where the fuck I think I know where approximately it is, but I'm gonna email some critter ritter people and see if they can come in and scope it out because I don't want to deal with it. Fuck that.
What do you think? A squirrel, field mouse?
Squirrel
Raccoon.
probably. The smell of
Yeah.
it, it's definitely not a mouse. It's something bigger. You know, that can't be a raccoon because that would just be like. I heard this thing one time. It was these people were selling their house, and the buyers were absolutely fucking idiots when they were buying the house, like really just giving the seller a hard time.
Yeah.
So what they did is they took some raw shrimp and put them in the curtain rods and then moved out of the house, and then the people moved in and like, what's that
Oh,
smell? And they
man.
couldn't find it anywhere.
That's
Oh.
awful.
That is awful.
So while I've never done this,
Upper deck? Did you upper deck somebody?
no. No, sometime when we're not being all never mind. But I mean,
Forget it. Forget it.
so
Fish in these hubcaps.
no. What I read these things. It's like, did you live at a place where the landlords were jerks or whatever,
Yeah.
and ways to get back at them, kind of things. And one of the things they said is like when you check out of your apartment, and then when you set up your run, like when you set up the run through to do it, they said get there about an hour early, unscrew one or more of the outlet covers, put as many live crickets as you possibly can inside the wall, and throw in a handful of cornflakes, screw the thing back up, and it's just like, but you leave, and then they're like, what the, there's crickets somewhere. It's just, I keep hearing crickets all the time. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
In
chirp,
my
chirp,
office, when my desk was up against the other, this is basically like, this room is like a big long subway kind of thing. So there's a window at each end, and it used to be up over there, and that's the side yard. And I for one summer, there was this fucking cricket parked outside my window. I would get so livid with it. I would run outside, I'd get the hose, and I'd spray that area. He's like, "Oh, this is beautiful. It's so hot out here. Nice weather." But yeah.
Jen hates crickets. We get them in back here sometimes. She hates them. She'll go around. We got this electric fly swatter. She'll start whacking them with that.
Yeah.
She hates them.
So the when we first moved out here, it was just fields around us, so we had crickets, and they find a way in. I mean,
Yeah.
like they say, a cricket can crawl through an area that's as small as like a half an inch or a quarter of an inch, diameter. They get in when they're tiny, and then they grow up inside your house, because there's this stuff, especially if you have pets, they'll feed on dog or cat food that's left out.
Yeah.
So we'd have a few or whatever, and one of the things about them is they say you don't want your dogs to eat them, and some dogs will just eat an insect just because they're
No?
doing whatever, because they have like worms and stuff, and they'll transmit to your animals, whatever.
Oh, do they?
So we'd always we'd see our dogs chase after them, but I'd always make sure they didn't, or I tried to anyway.
Yeah.
However, the moment we stopped having crickets is the moment that we had a cat in the house. Man, the cats will just track those things down
They're
inside your
evil.
house,
Yeah.
and they will just murder those things. Just like,
Mine snap the back legs and toy with them for hours.
yeah, they'll just and because you can see them too when they see it, they'll just when they just hunker down slow, they do that slow sink, and their eyes just.
Yep.
And they just come into my web, said the spider to the fly. It's like, no, I'm just a little throw pillow. That's nothing you'll worry about. My tail will just flick back and forth slowly as I get more and more excited about the idea. Yeah, it's they're pretty vicious.
Yeah, they're evil. My sister's actually caught a bird, jumped up in the air and grabbed the sparrow.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Ran into the house, let it go. And she's calling me. He's like, "Get the bird out." I was like, "I'm a half hour away. What the hell you want me to do?"
Yeah.
Cats are nuts. I was actually out here the other day watching one of the neighborhood cats was laying on the lawn. There's a squirrel up on a telephone pole. He's trying to get down, and he got down on the ground, and the cat chased him under the car, and then he ran back up the pole. But this squirrel chirped and hissed at that cat for a half an hour, running up and down that pole until the cat finally left. He pissed that squirrel off. And I thought they were going to go at it.
Did they?
Nah, the cat finally went away. Like I said, this girl chirped and hissed at him for half an hour up and down the pole. Tried to get down. The cat would chase him back up. Come back. Cat nuts. Oh man, I had a question for you. What finish are your guitars? Are they a matte finish or a gloss? A gloss?
Get it.
Nah.
Yeah, that's a butterscotch. My Strat's a butterscotch.
Okay.
Gloss. That one.
For sure it's not caramel.
Not cool.
No, that would be darker.
They only come in butterscotch.
It doesn't
Do you-
taste like butterscotch though. I
Do you like-
remember. So I used to be. When I was in high school, I had long hair and I was a big metalhead. And one of my favorite bands was Cinderella.
Oh yeah.
And
Shake me.
exactly, I was actually listening to it on the way home. But anyways, one of the things that this band does is they had the locking straps, right? And they would
Yeah.
do this thing where they would spin the guitars
Oh,
around their
yeah.
body and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
So being in my living room when I was a 14-year-old grade minor niner, I had a guitar with locking straps on it. I'm like, I can do this. And I throw it over my shoulder and it
It went.
clips
Oh.
the coffee table and it lops about a 1/4 inch off the headstock.
Oh.
Cosmetic only.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
boy, did I,
Piss you off.
every time you play, every time you're changing the strings, you're like, oh yeah.
I remember that.
That's right.
So, in humidity, do you find your hands sticky on the neck with the finish?
Oh, you mean there's a neck? Is the neck it's like a satin finish, my neck. It's not a gloss. Like it's not glossy like a Les Paul would be.
Yeah,
A Les Paul is like a lacquer to it, like a thick lacquer.
Did you finally get that fixed? The bubbling and stuff?
No.
Oh man.
You're probably gonna have to live with that or repaint the whole thing.
Again, it's cosmetic. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
care
so whatever.
to actually have it matter.
I mean, like, I'm not one to talk because I'm using a buddy's guitar whose butt got smashed when it fell off a bike, but it's still better than any guitar I own. So
Yeah.
Well, no, that's why I was asking. I was playing this today outside, and it was real humid. And I found it was a little sticky, but when I got
Yeah.
it back from the Luther,
Oh, yeah,
I
how'd it
noticed the
go?
wax he put on it was a little thick. So I don't know if it's that or what he like buffed it with something when he cleaned it.
Oh,
It's a little thick, so I don't know if it's that or it's the actual guitar finish. Yeah, but my brother's talked to me about getting an acoustic, and I was looking at a Fender acoustic. I forget what it is now, the model number,
but
but
why in that word you're saying, Barry?
what
Acoustic?
acoustic
acoustic.
Is there a Y in there
That's
somewhere
what
in the
you
middle of
play
it?
pool
could
with.
be.
Acoustic.
What I said acoustic.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Ha ha ha! I made fun of you, but now I said I'm
Oh,
sorry.
but it was
So-
the finish.
Americans
They had the high
Well, it's
gloss.
really a sorry,
finish.
not
Sorry.
Sorry, Barry. Go ahead.
It was the finish. They had the high gloss finish, and I was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that would, bother him with it. I wanted something that wasn't that had plies on it because of the weather and the stresses on the guitars for him because he's so new at it.
So one of the things is acoustics rarely have non-gloss. I mean, because really, anything with neck through, or solid piece like bolt-on necks, like the Fender Strat, like Fender guitars can often have it, or Ibanez or whatever. But when you get guitars like Rickenbacker or Gibson, they're always neck through, right? So like it's actually built into the guitar.
Yeah.
And they usually just lacquer the whole shebang.
Yeah. I'll have to see.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I don't know that much about guitars.
Neither do I.
I
know
want to
that,
get
but-
an SRV tube screamer.
But
pedal.
That sounds like a made up word.
Yeah,
it is.
I want to get a
Tube
turbo-
screamer?
turbo
No, it's not.
encabulator.
Which one?
A turbo encabulator. You know,
Yeah.
turbo encabulator.
I don't know that one.
It's because I'm not making it up. It's a real fake thing.
Do you
I'm
know?
sh-
You know the band Steel Panther?
Yes.
They have a Satchel, the guitarist, put a pedal out,
Did he?
and it's very sexist, and they took it off the line because it's the something melter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Starts with a P.
yeah.
Here you go. Whoa, that is
Yeah.
a hell of a link. But
You would have thought they would have ran that through, advertising first.
They did. It's just they don't care. I don't think.
Oh yeah, it could be that too. Well, who put the pedal out?
I can't remember.
here we go.
I can't see this being a big
This
name.
link is the turbo encabulator.
A guy I went to high school with makes pedals.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
That's cool.
he's been doing it for quite a while. What is this pedal
Analog?
company name?
I got a Boss pedal here that I'm thinking about opening up because it's a little noisy. An EQ
Boss?
pedal. Yeah,
That's my brand. That I
EQ
have. I
pedals.
don't know if they're any good, but
MasterEffectsPedals.com. That's my
Master
high school
Effects.
buddy.
Yeah.
High school and grade school, actually.
well, are they any good? Do you have any? Doing, doing, doing. Ding, 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 ding,
Do you
ding.
think that boutique pedals and shit will be around for much longer, Matt?
I think so.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like stomp box kind of things.
Like them what the hell's the name?
Wah pedal?
Yeah, like the Wazi pedals and there's a bunch of like high-end boutique pedals that are
Did you say Fozzy pedals?
Wazi.
Fozzie,
Like
Uh,
waka waka waka.
Fozzie the bear.
That's exactly what they sound like, Lance.
Yes. Yeah, but I can't remember the big company. But yeah, there's a bunch of them out there selling like specialized pedals outside of the big brands, like
Oh yeah, there's tons.
There's a
There
bunch.
are so many like,
Yeah.
like outside of Boss and Roland and shit like that.
yeah,
There are
MRX, MXR,
ton.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of companies. Well, not maybe not hundreds, but probably 100 companies that does it.
Yeah. Like my bandmates used to do the pods, when those were coming out.
Oh yeah.
We had all the different sounds or whatever. And then invariably they all went back to actual stomp boxes, like a thing of stomp boxes.
Yeah.
Well, not to talk more about Steel Panther, but Satchel doesn't use amps. He uses modeler. He uses a modeler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard a lot of people are going that
PA.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just easier on them.
He's like, he goes, I can get on a plane and gig anywhere.
Yeah.
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 And you don't have to worry
Just carry
about
a satchel.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that.
I love that they all wear wigs except for like the singer.
Yeah, we used to be my band got signed by the group that they came out of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at one point.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it was called Metal Shop.
Metal Shop.
And then Steel Panther went on to do the same thing, but like way better.
They did America's Got Talent.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They played. It's funny
I'd have to
because
find
Sofia Vergara is on
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
and she's married to Joe Manganiello,
Yeah.
and they played his party, one of his parties he threw. So she's like, I know these guys.
That's hilarious.
What is more fun than fucking shoehorning your designs into the game crafter? What is more fun than that? Let me ask you that. Hey, let's just don't worry, just change the size of all your cards and it'll be fine.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of give, does it? It's like,
Well, they have poker, which is 2.5 by 3.5.
yeah, but even that, at least back when I was using it more regularly, And maybe it just had to do with the settings that I had Photoshop or InDesign in. Like maybe my settings were mismatched. But like the 2.5 by 3.5 or whatever, or 83 by 63 millimeter, whatever the thing was, or 88 by anyway. Like it
63
never
by
matched
88?
up. It never matched up with their template.
Yeah.
And so I would have to like do the trial and error to get it to the right size, and then do that to every single asset.
Well, because I
Once
mean,
you-
like
once you find it.
for cards, like they're all, even if it's metric, they're all imperial,
Right.
and it's a real treat to format stuff for it.
Yeah, I had a whole other pass through where I had like the real card size that I was going to print in, and then this whole separate document that I could modify to get the cards for Game Crafter
Yeah.
prototyping.
Dude. Oh, who was singing that Mario song? Killing me now.
I was.
It's in my head. So I signed up for
What are Mario's overalls made out of?
what?
Denim.
That's not bad. I signed up for the Gen Con trade day today.
Oh, what's
did
the
you?
trade day?
It's just they do like some educational seminars that they don't offer during the actual con.
Oh, right.
Stuff like gamifying the classroom and things like that. So interesting things.
Well, cool. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Kathleen Mercury is doing a couple of presentations, so I want to sit in on hers. So is
Ridiculous.
Lydia is actually doing three
Oh, really?
presentations too.
Yeah, nice. I did those trade day things like when I first started going to the conventions, and then eventually I was like, all right, I'm over these.
Well, I'll be there
Not
Tuesday
that you
night.
couldn't still learn something.
I'll be there Tuesday night, so trade
You'll be
days
there
on the
anyway.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then it'll be good. It'll be
Yeah,
good.
I'm sure. There's like every time I went, I still learned something, even if a majority of it was like, oh, okay, all right.
Mm.
But you always learn something.
Yeah. I
Or at
made
least
some
meet
enemy.
people.
What's that?
Or at least meet some cool people.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of people, I made some enemies today on Facebook.
Oh, delightful. I do that once a year. I post something.
Damn Canadians
and-
can't take.
Well,
it
you
anymore.
saw it. I think you saw it, where people were like, "What terms are overused in board games?" I'm like, "Solo gaming."
Oh yeah, I saw that. No, nobody gave you too much guff, did they?
No. But they were just like, "How
Okay.
dare you?" I'm
I
like,
see.
I play board games to play with people, not to play by myself.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I put up a post the other day.
I like playing all by myself.
Oh, I put up a post that was basically like, hey, within the group of game designers, when you're playtesting somebody's thing, here are some behaviors that are not okay.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Because one of my friends was
You
like,
got some guff on that one.
oh, I got a lot of guff. But my friend got super upset and went in the bathroom and cried and considered, giving up the game design. And it's like, that's not an inclusive atmosphere. It's, and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people were like, toughen up, Buttercup, that's just the nature of critical feedback. And like, yeah, but it doesn't have to be.
Is it though?
Is it though?
Oh,
You
it
know, and
is.
And it's like, I don't know, just like if we want a nice inclusive space that includes not being jerks.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong hobby. There's a lot of jerks in this hobby. And I'm serious.
So anyway, I got a lot of guff. Somebody called me a white knight. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I think it was derogatory.
So here's a question. Daryl and I were talking about the social today.
Yeah.
And what's a good number of drink tickets to give somebody for that? Two?
It's the right amount where people get socially lubricated, but not to a point where your whole shindig becomes a different type of thing.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
'Cause it
I'm
can be this
Irish.
type
I
of
would go
thing,
with maybe 3.
or it
but-
can be this type of thing. And 1 is like, okay, and 2 is like, yeah, that's nice.
One's like, you chintzy bastards.
And then 3 starts to be like, this is a different type of event.
Yeah. Unlimited. Okay, here's your roll of tickets.
Power. Power up. Power up.
I started watching. Actually, I finished all of the episodes. Warrior. You watching this?
No. what's that?
I meant to start it. How is it, Matt?
It's great. Hoon Lee is in it. I like this actor a lot. He's a Chinese American actor he was in a show called Banshee.
Yeah.
8.4 out of 10. That's not bad.
It's excellent. It's all about
2019 TV series.
it's all
on
about
Cinemax?
the San Francisco in the era where Chinese population are just coming over from China.
Huh.
And the Irish are very, very prevalent in the American cities, and there's these race wars and stuff.
Huh.
And
That's cool.
and then there's also like this internal race war, the Tongs, which are like the
Yeah.
gangs, and they have all these. It's really interesting. It's good.
Assam, a martial arts prodigy from China, immigrates to San Francisco and becomes a hatchet man for the most powerful Tong in Chinatown.
It's based on the writings of Bruce Lee.
Cool.
Yeah, I did read about it. I haven't gotten to it. It's only the 1 season, right?
Based on the writings of Bruce Lee. Are these fictionalized writings?
I
assume?
think so.
Yeah,
yeah.
probably.
It's still pretty cool.
Je pense que oui.
Je pense que oui. Mais oui, bien sûr. C'est vrai.
I recently watched Silo on Prime, I think. It was.
So,
C'est vrai.
It's
I've
pretty
seen a
good.
lot of people getting all buzzed about it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, it's okay.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
First season, I
Tim
really enjoyed.
Robbins.
And I gotta say, I didn't see the ending coming.
Neither did I. I thought it was going to go the way it started to. Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
even heard of this.
Oh,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see
Is
how it.
Is it a dystopian future sci-fi? I'm into that.
Yeah, it is actually.
In a ruined and toxic future, a community exists in a giant underground silo that plunges hundreds of stories deep. There, people live in a society full of regulations they believe are meant to protect them.
I'll watch anything that has Tim Robbins in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I actually enjoy the woman, the lead woman. What I forget her
Rebecca
name.
She's from
Ferguson,
Finland
Felicity
or
Jones,
Sweden or
Harriet
something?
Walter.
Yeah, I thought she was Carrie Russell at first. Then I realized she's too
I like
young.
Harriet. Yeah.
But
like
I
Carrie
seen her
Russell a
in
lot.
something else. Miss Davis or something.
Yeah.
She's pretty
Oh.
good in that too. Yeah, I don't know what she is. She has a bit of an accent.
Carrie Russell's fucking killer in The Diplomat. It's awesome.
I've been watching The Diplomat. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I gotta get back. I've seen the first 2 episodes.
I told
Yeah.
you I met Carrie Russell, right? She was
No?
Did
she
you?
was really nice. Yeah, I was on set for this movie back when I had hair, and like Harrison Ford got grumpy at me, and he like got up and left the table we were sitting at, and she looked at me. She was like, "Oh,
No, really?
yeah." She
Harrison
was
Ford?
hilarious. Yeah, he was mad at
Just
me.
look at you just fucking
Harrison Ford, grumpy.
I drop that name any chance I get, my friend. You opened the door.
Wait a minute,
wide.
time out. You were playing a game with Harrison Ford?
No, we were not playing games. It was on. It was on. a
He's
movie
working.
set.
what movie was it?
It was called. What did they end up calling it? Extraordinary Measures.
Oh yes.
And what were you doing?
I was Brendan Fraser's stand-in. So like when he was in his trailer, I would sit there with the other actors for the lighting and camera crew and stuff.
He was the dummy.
I was the dummy.
Oh,
I
And
was
why
just
did
the
he
right
and why
height.
did he get upset with you?
Well, so when he first arrived on set, you know, it was like, ladies and gentlemen, Harrison Ford, everybody. And he was like shaking everybody's hand, doing that thing. And then the assistant director leaned over to me and was like, go get on your spot. Go sit at that table. And there was like a thing behind him. I had to basically squeeze behind Harrison and this pillar or this wall to like get to my spot. and he turned to shake my hand as I was already like sliding too far past. And I was like, oh, hey, and kept going. And so I kind of like snubbed him on accident, sort of. And then like my favorite moment was when in the scene I was supposed to walk out to the end of this pathway up in front of a house and shake his hand, for the lighting.
And he snubbed you.
And I got out there and he goes, I'm not going to shake your hand. And I was
You didn't say that.
you did. And I was like,
Did he have a hint of humor?
no, not
Oh,
at all.
you pissed off Han Solo.
I mean, maybe in his head he was being funny, but he didn't let that come across. But I started laughing.
He might have been fucking with the
No
new
one
guy
told me
too.
that.
Yeah.
I said, we did make up at the end though, because I was on set like 2 months or 2.5 months. We did make up at the end. The last day that we were shooting, like when you do close-ups in movies, like people are a lot closer than you actually think they are. Like you're standing like really close, and we were just standing.
How
there
close?
Really close.
Really close.
Very
Very close.
good.
And for whatever reason, it was just taking forever. And we were standing there, and he was like, "How's your night going?" It's pretty good, man. How about yourself? It's all
You
right.
suppose he didn't remember you, so you're just like, oh, there's this new guy standing
Oh,
beside
I
me.
think he remembered me. I think
He remembered the
I
new
think
guy.
he finally figured out that I wasn't like trying to be a jerk or anything, and was like, all right, this kid's okay. I think we made up in that moment. I could be wrong.
That's nice.
I think we're best friends now.
Nah.
Bestie.
You would have went to premiere of Indiana Jones if you were.
I know, right?
Maybe.
I didn't even
yeah.
get invited to the premiere of this movie that I was a part of, so
That's true.
let alone anything else.
So you would do like when the actors are talking to the camera, you do the stand-in for the other guy that they're supposed to be talking to at the
anytime they're
close-ups and
setting
stuff
up the
like that.
shot,
Oh,
because
just setups.
the actors are off like doing whatever they do, getting ready for the scene,
Yeah.
re-upping their lines, getting makeup and all that stuff. And I work with the crew for the lighting and the camera, so they practice their shots so that when the actor comes out, they're ready to go. And Brendan just happened to be in his trailer a lot more than the other two main actors, so I was just hanging out with them a lot more.
He
So-
is cast in. Oh, what is it? Hold on.
I don't know. The Whale.
No, he was just cast in a new
never saw it.
in a remake of something.
A remake? Don't tell me they're doing the Mummy. I
I would watch that.
don't know if I would.
First movie was a good movie.
Yeah, it was. It's fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was total popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah, but after that.
I mean, it kind of fell apart. Yeah. But
Yeah, it was fun.
but that first one was
Canadian
good.
American.
The first one was
Brendan
good,
Fraser.
and it had the like funny moments and yeah.
Did I say Fraser? It's supposed to be Fraser.
Fraser.
Fraser. Yeah.
Oh, I can't. It'll come to me. I can't remember what it was.
You can do it.
I remember it struck me. I was like, oh, really?
Oh, an odd casting, you think?
Well, I think again, I can't remember what it was, but I think like, oh, the character in that is kind of a little bit more trim than Brendan Fraser
He
is,
lost
but
some weight.
he has. I mean, I think
Oh,
he has for sure.
This is riveting.
Yeah, really. I don't know. What was the character? Do you remember, Matt?
I'm looking.
You're
Oh.
looking.
Sit and twist,
Keep
buddy.
looking. Is it Beetlejuice too?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Is Gina Davis and is everybody coming back for that movie?
I know
Are they doing
Winona
Beetlejuice again?
Ryder, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder.
Alec Baldwin.
I think Alec Baldwin. I think Gina Davis is. Yeah, I think I heard she was. I don't remember now. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember.
Mm,
Are they
I did hear
remaking that
something about it,
movie?
but I don't remember. Yeah, they just started production actually.
Really?
It's supposed to be out next year, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice
Oh, they're
2?
making it. Yeah, they're making it.
Yeah, they
No
just
way.
they're in
Michael
production.
Keaton, Winona
Yeah.
Ryder. Who else did they bring back? Catherine O'Hara.
I think that girl who played in Wesley
Willem
Wednesday.
Dafoe.
Jenna Ortega.
I think she might be in it.
Yeah,
She'd
Jenna
have to be.
Ortega, Monica Bellucci.
Gina
Justin Theroux,
Davis
I don't know
isn't.
who Gina Davis, I do not see,
I got her wrong.
but Catherine O'Hara's coming back.
I thought her should be in there. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, the 30-year gap and how. Well, I guess they're dead, so it don't matter. But
I just love Michael Keaton. Oh,
Did you watch Dope Sick?
no.
I
Excellent.
couldn't. It was a
Excellent.
little.
That's pretty good.
Fucking awesome.
I lived through that shit. I didn't have to see it on TV.
Drama miniseries
Yeah.
with Michael Keaton. Okay.
There you go.
Did anybody see him as Batterman in the Flash movie?
Oh,
I have not
No.
gone to see the Flash movie yet, and I mean, and people
It'll
were
be
just
on
kinda,
HBO in a week or two,
You,
probably.
you say that about everything. Yeah, apparently, HBO is going to have everything pretty soon.
Yeah, everything's like a month. Well, HBO has Warner Brothers. It's part of it. It's going to be on a streaming service. Everything's getting streamed like a month and a half, 2 months after it hits the movie theater. You haven't noticed that? Dungeons and Dragons is already streaming.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was
oh,
because
I need to see that one.
that one didn't make the gajillion they thought it was going to make.
Yeah, well,
So-
Flash didn't either.
Flash is going to be, apparently, they're going to lose like $200 million on it.
Where's that streaming? I need to see that.
It's not streaming yet, but I'm sure it will be soon on
Okay.
on Max or
Well, they have
H-
some real actors in that. Michelle Rodriguez, Chris Pine.
Chris Pine was in a really good movie called Bottle Shock about wine. Him and Bill Pullman
Ah,
and
I like Bill
and
Pullman.
Alan Rickman was in it too.
really?
Really fun movie. It was good.
That's awesome.
Almost as good as Sideways.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sideways was awesome. With what's his butt?
What's his book?
Paul
Okay.
Giamatti.
Giamatti.
Yeah.
I just see him as John Adams on that HBO series.
You know,
years
should
ago.
I watch? I mean, I've watched like 30 minutes of Billions. Should I watch all of that?
I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just like I just like I just enjoy the actors that are in that, and I think I would enjoy it.
I like Damian Lewis.
Lilith. Wait. What was Matthew?
John Lewis.
You guys remember Matthew Lillard? Is he anything anymore?
I just met him at the Quit Roll party.
Really? I love that guy.
He's working with Beetle and Grimm right now.
Really?
And yeah, he was in a bunch of stuff recently.
Okay. I love that guy.
Yeah, I love him too. He's one of my favorite actors. He one of my favorite episodes of Leverage he's in.
Okay.
You know where Leverage is filmed, Evan?
It used to be filmed in Portland, Oregon, but it is no longer.
No, I don't.
They moved it like 6 years ago or 7 years ago. That show still going?
Leverage Redemption is
Okay.
Oh,
minus Timothy Hutton.
I think they went to Atlanta or something.
Nolans.
Oh, New Orleans.
Orleans.
Yeah, no, it's not as good. I like Timothy Hutton, and
Yeah.
it's too bad that because he got Me Too'd,
Yeah.
but it came out that the girl and her boyfriend were just gold digging.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So and he lost the role because of it.
So can I since you touched on that? I mean, that
Here we
was
go.
one of those. No, I don't. I'm not. I don't want to be. I don't want to be like anything weird about that stuff. But I'm just because I generally this isn't one of those things I genuinely want an answer, because I always think that's the biggest bullshit thing. Is I'm really interested in what your opinion is. No, it's just I want to be an asshole and ask questions and being a dick.
So being
know,
an
so-
asshole is what are you saying?
No. So okay, so Timothy Hutton had that accusation.
Yeah.
He denied whatever and everything like that. It was like this big giant he denied it, and then they closed it without filing any charges or whatever. It wasn't, but so if you do something like that, now here, so where I'm going here, like let's back up a second. So no, so you have this issue. So now it seems like they're gonna have Johnny Depp come back and be in another Pirates movie, because he lost out, or he was gonna be in one in the end, but he can never get back into the Harry Potter movie again, obviously, because they filmed it without him. It's one of those things where it's like, it's weird to me that, like, I mean, and obviously court of public opinion will always decide whether or not we believe a situation, regardless of if there is actually like a court case. And so, I mean, for example, take the Kevin Spacey situation, who he went to court.
He's in court now.
Well, is he again?
Yes,
because he was in court, and the one that the person that like they took him to court over the misconduct or whatever, and they revealed that, like, they found in favor of Spacey, that like there was nothing
Did they
to
really?
say.
On this, on that count, with that actor on Star Trek Discovery, that one, they found in Spacey's. He's in court now. There's a bunch of other people who've taken him to court. He's actually in court right now in England, I think, over that stuff.
Yeah, so with
then.
Anthony Rapp is who you're talking about.
Was
on
that who it
October
was?
17th, the judge dismissed the emotional distress charges due to them being a duplicate of battery charges. And October 20th, a jury found Spacey not liable.
Right.
And so like, so then he had, what was it, in 2020, Spacey and his production companies were ordered to pay $31 million to MRC, the studio that produced House of Cards, for violating its sexual harassment policy. Spacey appealed to have the arbitration award overturned, but the request was denied on August 4th, 2022. Like, then there was one where he was, he was, charged with felony sexual assault. He pled not guilty. This is to Heather Unruh's 18-year-old son in Nantucket, Massachusetts. Unruh's son's personal attorney informed the court Spacey's defense attorney spent months trying to obtain copies of text and the phone itself. That there was conversation. Unruh's son's personal attorney informed the court that the cell phone in question is missing. On June 4th, the defense learned that when Unruh gave her son's cell phone to police in 2017, she admitted she had deleted some of the text messages. Later that month, her son filed a lawsuit. And on July 5th, 2019, he voluntarily dismissed his claims with prejudice. So it's one of those things where it's like, either he's just Teflon, and nothing sticks, or I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, where do you and now he's got, he was charged with in the United Kingdom for 4 counts of sexual assault against 3 complaints. And the alleged offenses happened between 2005 and 2013. Now, I don't know if he did anything or not. I have no, I won't even go into it because I have no clue.
No.
I have no clue what's going on. But it's one of those things where it's like, he's actually been in a couple of movies and like little tiny roles since all that stuff happened. So it isn't like he's not working at all or doing anything.
Yeah, he's just working abroad. He's not working here in the States.
He's like Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly he's supposed to face trial on June 6, 2023, but I haven't seen anything about it. But what if he really didn't do anything? That's all I'm saying. What if like I mean these things are being dismissed and being removed and everything like that?
I mean, it's really unfortunate that malicious, because I mean there are of all of the
I mean, the percentage of false
lawsuits,
claims is minuscule.
it's tiny.
It
but
is
it still happens.
tiny.
It still happens, which is shameful on the people that are doing it. But the good of the you can Spock it.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, you just have to take one for the team here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's anyways.
I just it's and I know it's as whatchamadick, as Norm, as our dear departed Norm Macdonald would say, it's a thorny issue. Take one for the team here.
Thorny issue.
It's a thorny issue. I don't know.
In the end, look at Cosby. He was talking. I don't know if he did, but he was talking about going out on tour again when he got out of jail last year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, OJ too. He wrote books and shit.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So I don't know. We're in a fucked up world. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any.
I mean, for
What
the
do I
guy
know?
like Depp and all them Depp wasn't in that Me Too stuff, but he was something
Here's a bit of a non
different.
sequitur.
But,
Good. Get us off this.
Go ahead.
Speaking of the Cosby Show,
Get us off this thorny issue.
speaking of the Cosby Show, and this is the strangest thing, and I have no idea why it happens. Whenever I'm scooping kitty litter, I think of one of two episodes of 80s sitcoms. It's the one episode of Growing Pains where Kirk Cameron goes to meet him. Oh no, not Kirk Cameron. He's the younger brother, Ben, I think his name was on the show.
Yeah.
Goes to meet his rock star idol and gets yelled at because the guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
And then the other episode is the Cosby Show, where Theo and Cockroach come home from a sports tournament, and they're all super hungry because they found out that didn't the team stop for dinner? And they ended up getting in trouble because they were mean to the cashier or something like that. I don't know why. Every single time I'm like scooping kitty litter, I'm like, that's what I think.
Why? What does scooping kitty litter have to do with either of those episodes?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't even remember.
And speaking of Kirk Cameron,
what about him?
How old? Just without looking up, how old would you guess Kirk Cameron is?
54.
55, yeah, late 50s.
I would say
60, and
maybe 58.
yeah, I would go 57, 58, somewhere.
Right. So you'd all lose he's 52.
Is he that young?
Born in, and he's going to turn 53 in October. So, and yeah, he's in a lot of really Christian movies now.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
he
has
is
been for a long time.
Massively born again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Receiver, aka Jeremy Miller, was in a whole bunch of stuff until 2010, and then he was in nothing for 11 years. And then he came back in 2021.
San Quentin will do that to you.
What do you come back for?
The San Quentin will do that to you. No.
Yeah.
Oh, was he in the
After Growing Pains ended, Kirk Cameron did not maintain contact with his former co-stars. Cameron has stated this is not due to any animosity on his part towards any of his former cast members, but as an outgrowth of his and his wife's desire to start a new life away from the entertainment industry, and as he put it, the circus that my life had been for the past 7 years.
Yeah, not my monkey, not my circus.
Get that money and then get out, huh? That's how to do it.
Take the money then.
Come on, take the money.
Did you guys do initials yet?
We were waiting for you.
We were waiting for you.
I mean, without Aldi, we just hadn't done one. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna do it without Aldi. It's just not. I mean, we just need to have Aldi here. He's
That's fair.
Who's gonna win if Aldi's not here? That's the question.
It'll be Matt.
No, Evan cleaned up last time.
Did I? No, that was just once. That was a total fluke.
I've been off my game. I'm not even doing well in like Wordle or spelling bee, and they're kicking my ass. My lateral thinking capabilities lately has been severely in the dumps.
Yeah, my brain has never been good. And
Go on,
now-
guys. We'll do a
now I
quick
have a kid.
3-player, and then we'll sign off for the night. How's that sound?
I'm in.
He won the Saturn Award Best Performance by a Younger Actor in Like Father Like Son. For I think that was one of those
Mid-Seaver.
no,
He's
it's
back on
like
camera.
that's one of those
Hidden idea.
well no the parent and kid swap
Yeah,
or whatever, you
there
know,
was
like
vice
when
versa. There was
when they yeah that,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that whole
he
like
swapped with Dudley Moore, right?
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who did for
Like
what?
father, like son. Yeah.
Like father, like son. Yeah, he did it
Yes.
with Dudley Moore. Yeah,
Forget
you're
the
right.
bunch of them.
Friday, vice versa.
Yeah, Freaky Friday.
And like father, like son, right?
Yeah.
That's all of them. There's a
Yeah.
whole
Jamie
team
Lee
of those
Curtis. Who was vice versa?
people. Vice versa was.
You guys remember 18 again with George Burns?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
actually I do.
It was Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage.
Oh my God, yes it was.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
Yes, it
Uh-huh.
was.
And Freaky Friday was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis and yeah.
And the singer chick, right?
Wait, which one?
Miley Cyrus, was that it?
There's a
No.
1976, a 1995.
Was it Haley No.
A 2003 and a 2018? I'm guessing.
Oh no, it was
95.
fucking
Shelley
not so
Long
chick there.
and Gabby Huffman.
Which one's not so? Oh, the other one.
Hilary Duff
Was it Hilary Duff?
or Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan is the one I was thinking of, the nut one.
The
one that went crazy.
Jodie
Yeah.
Foster and Barbara Harris.
Speaking of crazy, how's Britney doing these days?
Britney's back, bitch.
TMZ did something on, like they've been doing these documentary type things. They did one on the court thing with them, but they recently did another one on her. I meant to watch it, but I didn't. I haven't. Apparently not so well. Yeah. She got her freedom and went nuts with it.
They did a Britney song at Postmodern Jukebox the other night. It was pretty good.
She made a rare court appearance in June 2021, making bombshell allegations about her life over the past 13 years.
Who's that? Brittany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Fake Barry's in the chat.
Who is?
Here's the
Fake
great
Barry.
bit.
Big Barry.
I didn't realize Sean Astin was in Like
Yeah.
Father, Like Son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good for
he's
him.
been in the business forever. I watched something with
Was it Toy Soldiers?
William Shatner. I did not realize how long he was in the business. Like he said, he was acting since he was
Oh, good old
6 years
TJ Hooker?
old. No,
Yeah.
6 years old. I could not believe that.
Why is there only 12 of those?
12
Sorry, I'm still doing fucking crafter shit.
Hmm.
this
I mean-
this game right now is $115.
What game?
This game I'm putting together on Game Crafter,
Yeah, man.
and they're gonna have to order urgent.
Oh, so
Oh.
it's going to be double that? Nice.
Not so much.
That's brutal.
It really is.
Toxic Pony. Oh, she's coming out with a new song.
Brittany,
2022.
you're fascinated with Brittany.
Well, we were talking about it, so I looked it up.
Yeah.
Whitney or Bitney.
Released in 2022. Or maybe that's not Britney. Maybe that's just another thing that came up. Britney Spears and Genuine.
Fuck.
Apparently, Matt's not a fan of Genuine.
Why is this
Oh,
not right?
It's a remix. It's a remix.
the remix.
Oh, stupid remixes.
It's a remix.
This ain't no remix.
Not a real.
All right, if we're not playing on initials, I gotta go. I gotta go.
No, well, that's fine. You can just go. You know,
You
just
can go then.
like I said, I was gonna do it. We're gonna last until midnight anyway. But I was gonna call it early tonight anyway because I'm gonna make Evan play a game. So
Right.
you want to play a game, Matt? It only takes like 20 minutes.
I can't. I gotta get this shit done for tonight.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. So,
Yeah,
what day do you get in at Gen Con?
Tuesday night.
I think that's what me and my daughter are doing too, because Shane's like, the amount of stuff we're bringing, he's like, I'm gonna need you like basically ready to go like first thing on Wednesday morning, start setting up the booth. And I was like, well, you know, I don't think a flight gets into Indy, you know, before 3. So you know what I love about Indy and Gen Con about doing setup? It's always 8 million degrees.
It
in
is.
that
It is
room.
8 million degrees.
Until they and then the next day they turn on that HVAC, which I will agree. I realize that people that put together HVAC systems, they are wizards. You know, just like to get like real quality air conditioning to like, you know, get that entire room. Because I mean, it is night and day difference. So everybody who's ever gone to Gen Con, if you've never been in the exhibitors room before they actually open it up for people, it is like literally you walk in there and in your entire, within like 10 minutes of opening up boxes and lugging things around, your entire, it's like you sweat through your shirt. It's just, you're done. You're just like, and you stink and you're miserable and you hate it. And so if you're wondering why on Thursday morning when like you walk in, I mean, you know, why those people aren't just, why everybody doesn't have a giant, you know, shit-eating grin on their face. It's because, you know, to get that booth set up with all their stuff, it was a giant pain in the ass. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Not go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, not
Bring
going is
deodorant.
always an option. So,
Mhm.
but all right. Well, I mean, I'm sorry we didn't have like the people that
The cool people.
yeah, the cool people. You had to
Yeah.
go with
Get to settle with us, please.
theoretically next week I'm original boomer Chris Kirkman. He's gonna come back. He's gonna hang out from Dice Hate Me and Dice Hate Me Games and stuff like that. You know, he was a publisher slash podcaster and
Back in
Designer
business.
too.
yeah, a designer. Yeah, he's designed a bunch of stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, one of the originals. I ran into him at Origins and he and I sat down and talked for quite a while and just kind of, and like he, you know, BS'd for quite a bit about stuff. So
Nice.
yeah.
Bring
All
some
right.
old fresh blood. Fresh old blood.
When is Gen Con?
And then like 4 weeks.
First week. It's basically right now.
August 2nd to 5th, 6th,
Okay.
6th.
7th?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Uh,
I should know since I'm going. But
it's in my calendar.
yeah, it is. Here we go. So
It ends
Yeah.
on the 6th. Yeah. 6th is the Sunday.
technically the days are 3rd through the 6th.
Yeah,
But if
3rd
you
through
are
6th.
exhibiting, you're probably there at least
The day before.
the day before.
Yeah. I'm there what this
Well, I mean, and the thing is
first
that
to the 8th, first to the 7th.
so I will say this: my daughter and I got a
Yes.
room at my daughter and I have a room at the Regency, which is like, in my opinion, the best hotel to stay at if you can get a room at Gen Con, because 3 reasons,
Oh, I
and
don't
here they
know where
are. 3 reasons why the Regency is the best hotel to stay at when you go to Gen Con if you're able to get a room. 1, it is like right across the street from Gen Con. So like you walk out the front door, and you cross the street, and boom, you're at Gen Con, and it is like the spot where you get to walk into the convention place. It isn't like 8 miles away from it's a pretty short walk to get to the exhibit hall. Okay, reason number two. It is the location of the BGG Hot Games Room, which is the coolest place to stay at when you're not at a booth. It is the people at BGG are awesome because I usually can scam my VIP ticket or whatever from BGG. They so I don't get like they don't throw me out after being in there for 4 hours, and they have all the cool games. And there's always cool people in there hanging out, playing games, and you'll see people that you know, and it is the best. So, and if you're staying at that hotel, you get back to your hotel room,
Oh yeah,
you unwind a little bit,
yeah.
you walk, and then you just walk down to the BGG Hot Games Room, and you just play games with people. And then when it gets late, it's like, oh, it's like 10, 11. Yep, I think we're done. We can go back
Yeah,
upstairs.
that was really cool. You took me in there. I think was that last year?
Yeah, that was last year.
And I met
You,
some
me,
famous
you, and my daughter, and somebody else. We played some game. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Is Keith going to check on you know?
Keith?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Yeah.
And reason number 3, the Regency is where the super secret subway is located. It is there is a subway in the like there's like these like kind of like a weird like little not quasi strip malls / offices on the main floor of the Regency. Nobody knows that well, people know the subway exists, but hardly anybody knows that subway exists. And as soon as Gen Con starts, they usually switch to 24 hours. So it's like it is literally like, oh, and you have all these people that are like, oh, you want to go grab, like, want to go drive like, a half hour away and go to this restaurant and eat some food and blah blah blah. No, actually, I think I'm just gonna go get a meatball sub, and I'm gonna
Secret sub.
Yeah, the super secret subway, and it is that was like one of those things where we would like as far as like it's something I can get what I want to eat there. My daughter can get what she likes to eat there.
Yeah.
You get a soda, you get like a lemonade, you get some cookies, you sit down, you can just unwind. And also it doesn't cost, $70 to eat something, like, all these people, it's like, oh, we're going to go to Fogo de Chao or whatever. And
What a chow.
yeah, we're gonna go and get the meat sweats. We're gonna like feel like we want to die, and then have the poops all day long. It's gonna be great.
I will say though that Harry and Izzy's posted their burger today. There is that Bilbo Frito Baggins, it was called, and it's got chili cheese Fritos on it and bacon jam.
That
Like,
sounds
yes,
great.
please.
I want that. Matt, where are we staying?
The Omni Severin.
that's actually that's a really classy
I
joint.
love that hotel.
Okay,
That's a classy joint. I'll say that. That's where me and Joel Lady stayed the first times when we were sharing a room. That's where me and him stayed.
Damn, Joel.
When Ryan and I stayed there, Ryan had a 2-floor room and it had like a spiral staircase
That's
joining
amazing.
them.
Yeah.
That'd
Like
be rough being
the
drunk.
master bedroom was upstairs,
Yeah.
and then there was like a suite. It was a suite, so it was like a
Yeah.
2-floor suite. It was
Dude, that's
really
awesome.
cool. I'm like, where's the champagne glass
Yeah.
bathtub?
Pool slide.
So the Omni Severin, there is the guy who designed
Sounds like a main boss.
the two guys that designed. Remember Folklore: The Affliction?
Oh no.
No, okay.
I
So yeah, Folklore: The Affliction was a but I mean it's kind of weird. It did really well. They
And then it
did
died.
multiple crowdfundings, and they got like 500,000, 700,000, whatever. And it was basically D&D in a box. And it came out, but what kind of like it was really fun. And I still own my copy, and the miniatures are great. and it's like storylines. It's a storyline campaigns, and where you go through the whole thing, and it's like, okay, now set up the tiles, and then this will be that. But then instead of just like go kill the monsters, there's actually like scripted elements, kind of almost choose your own adventure type things that happen that you'll pick and do. Anyway, so the two guys that did that, they've done, you know, fairly well for themselves as far as like they're like, one of them is a heart surgeon, right? But they and a few of their friends would always rent out in the Omni Severin like the suite that's on top of the building. And Nino is the guy's name, one of the guys that I became really good friends with. And he'd always text me, and they like every Father's Day he sends me a text. He says Happy Father's Day. Every Christmas he sends me a text, you know, just like, you know, he's just a nice guy. And like, but he would always say, hey, every night's a party at the penthouse. You know, just come up and then like let me know if you're there, so I can, like, you know, I'll you know, send the elevator down to get you or whatever. And it was like what you were saying. It was like 2 floors, multiple balconies, and they would just have a ton of food and a ton of alcohol, and people would play games, or people would just sit around and listen to music. And it was just kind of neat to like go to, and then like be at the top floor of this hotel and just be like, and it's one of those like old hotels, so it's got the cool top to it and everything like that. And you're standing out there on these balconies, and you're just looking down, and like, you know, it was really nice. It was like,
That's cool.
it was kind of the Ritz, you know, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
this, you know, and it's like you're looking over the side, and, you know, hundreds of feet to the ground, but then you can just see all the people walking around. It's like, I don't know. It was good stuff. And
I hear you.
yeah.
No,
So
seriously.
we will be doing, like the last time before Gen Con, we will go through the BGG. Well, that'll be our Gen Con whatchamadig night, where we go
Preview?
through the preview, where we go through everything.
I'll have to skip that day.
No, it's fun.
They're going for 5,000 games.
Well, no, we don't do the expansions, and I'll try to get Keith to come back. He's a good guy to MC it for us, right?
He
You know,
is
because
actually.
he's like, this sucks, moving on. This sucks, moving on. Nobody cares about this, moving on. Just like-
They have a Gen Con list out yet? No, I don't
yeah.
think they did.
So, but and then like we'll stop and we'll say, you know, whatever, you know, and like we have, and usually it's kind of helpful for me, because then I actually like, oh, I didn't even know that. What is this? That game actually looks kind of interesting. That kind of thing. So, all right, everybody, get some sleep. Be good. Thanks for hanging out.
Toodaloo.
And I will yeah, hang out, Evan. Don't wander
will.
off on me.
Don't
I will
wander.
not.
All right, good night, everybody.
Let everybody.
Good.